Ladies and gentlemen, DZ Aviation coming to you with a new video. Welcome aboard, guys. As you can see, we got our friends Air Bossman. Welcome aboard, buddy. Air Bossman is in the place.
What's up? What's good?
How's everything going with you, Bossman?
We just landed in Miami. You see the shirt?
Oh yes, man.
Palm trees, beach coconuts.
Vice landing, as you can see.
Vice landing right on the marker.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's get this music a little bit down here. Alrighty, guys, we're here for a somewhat quick podcast that we've been talking about. Fred, welcome aboard, my friend. Butter to you. Hope you're doing well, man. Quit smoking, I guess. That's the quit smoking one. So yeah, so we're here for a quick podcast here where Bossman and I will look into a couple of topics of the moment, I would say. The hot topics of the moment that we wanted to talk about for a little bit now, except we didn't find the time that was required for this type of sort of hosting, interview, whatever it is, right? Anyways, we're here and we got quite some schedule for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you have any question, please do not hesitate to use the chat. We'll be looking at it. Bossman and I both have access to the chat, so we'll be reading through it. And then at the end, if anybody wants to jump on a VC with us to vocalize anything, you'll be more than welcome to do so, guys. So without further ado, we're gonna keep the music here in the background. Just let me know if it's not too loud, right? We want to make sure that our voices are the loudest, of course, because we want to pay attention to Bossman, man. He's got a lot of interesting things to do. I'm just gonna ask you guys to give me a little bit of a break today because I got COVID. That is very unfortunate, but today is day 2. I'm starting to get the sore throat thingy. I didn't sleep well last night, so I'm expecting to have a pretty shitty night tonight. But I'm still here, still got the energy for this podcast, so let's move on, my friends. First of all, we just want to do a quick introduction. We'll let Bossman start over.
All right, guys, you know me, man. Bossman here is in the building. Landing champions. You know, I'm not kidding. I'm a landing champions. Well, I've been doing flight sim since FS95. Really kids, you know, I stole that game from my friends, to be honest, because we were really poor, but we stole the game. I stole the game because I didn't even know nothing about computer, but we had a computer at home. We don't even know. I don't remember why we had a computer. We had a computer at home, and even trying to install it, that's how we started. And then my dad got me a computer and FS98, and that's where everything really started until now. I had all of them. Sim skids, man. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much for the introduction, Bossman. Yeah, like you mentioned, you guys know Bossman. He's no stranger to any of you guys. And I wanted to take the opportunity to say thank you very much to Zuluid. Said Bashfa Alik, which means please get better soon. Thank you very much, my friend. Keep it, you welcome on board, my friend. Off topic, but Bossman is dressed immaculately. Oh yeah, that's the French lady, man. That's sapology. It's called sapology, you know. I don't know if you can Google it, but try sapology. It's a logic, it's a vibe, it's a style, which I don't follow myself because I have a baby at home. I'll be full of stains if I do that, but anyways. La Sap, yes, La Sap, my friend.
So what about you, Mr. DZ Aviation?
Oh yes, well,
is
obviously.
You?
Who is me? Me
yes.
is some Algerian Canadian dude who's the channel name is DZ Aviation. I've been streaming for about double the time Bossman has been. It was been more struggle though. I've been streaming for I think 2 years now, one and a half year. My son is 18 months old, so yeah, that's basically That's about 2 years. I started streaming 2 years ago. It didn't go well. I started with like a channel called Canada Airliner. Everybody was wondering, why did you name your channel Canada Airliner and not Canada Airlines? Anyways, back then it was pandemic time, lockdown. I was trying to improvise as much as possible. Have done a bunch of Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 streams in the early days, and I think I've had maybe 50 crash to desktop. So I just was like, screw it, let's stop streaming. It's embarrassing. People will laugh at me and stuff like that. But then somehow I came back and had the opportunity to meet with a lot of good people, amongst them Bossman. And yeah, that's DZ. I don't have the same sense of humor that Bossman does, which makes him a more popular option. But I think I have my moments. If you catch me on my live stream, you have my moments, and yeah, you'll have fun. Welcome on board, everyone. Alrighty, guys. So today we are going to be treating a couple of topics here. We're going to be talking about obviously what's happening in the simulation world. We know that a lot of things are moving. It's not a static world by any means. It's very much a dynamic world. And recently we got some new updates, new stuff going on with the simulator. So Bossman and I wanted to take the opportunity to one at a time maybe share a couple of things, right? We do have some questions here that I am reading. We got the launch of Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, which in 2 days they will be celebrating 4 months. Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 was released 4 months ago. It's been a minute. What do you think about that, Bossman?
Man, the launch was something. Fuck, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I mean, I already put some expectation that it's not gonna go well, but to that level, I was like, God damn it. I was like, what we do? Are we gonna take the gun and shoot all over the place, or we just kind of calm down for that day? Because that day I remember I took it off from work, like I'm gonna have a good time, I'm gonna stream it. I was able to log in, so I was knocking on the wood. I was in the, and then for some reason I decided, oh, why all the command doesn't work? So you check the command. For some reason Microsoft removed everything, so you have to reset up everything for your stuff. And then I don't remember my sensitivity, and I disconnected.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna check my sensitivity in 2020 so I can put it back into 2024. Hey, I never came back.
Oh yeah.
Never worked.
Yeah, let's put it this way. In my case, the release of Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 was a very poorly performing day off for me, because I called sick that day. I was like, I'm calling sick. And I was like, okay, let's go, man. We're going to enjoy Microsoft Flight Sim, and, you know, let's do it. I think I streamed for like 9 hours, and I was still on the introduction screen. I was one of the lucky ones at the very beginning, because as soon as I ran the simulator on the stream, it was working. I got a bunch of people in. They were asking me to visit their countries, their places of birth, whatever. So it worked for maybe an hour. Maybe for an hour I was flying the Cessna and going around and about and looking at places. And then I had a message that says your packages from Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 are ready. You need to restart the simulator to have them added. So I was like, hell yeah, let's go and take a look at that. And what have you. I restarted my simulator, and I'm on that crazy waiting queue for 9 hours. It was brutal. And I thought I was the only one. I was like, what's going on with my internet connection today? I'm going to call my provider. Then I go and check Captain Canada. Then I go and check XP72. No, actually, I think XP72 did not stream until the day after or something like that. But I checked Blue Games, I checked Captain Canada, and I was like, oh yeah, Blue Games had XP on his Discord, so they were checking together and they were waiting. And I see a lot of people, like, their title is like Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 release party, but then they're playing Candy Crush, like they're playing Snake or something like that. I was like, okay, well, we're off to a good start. Yeah, so maybe let's ask Bossman, did the MSFS 2024 release meet your expectation? And
Really?
if yes,
Really?
why? If no, why?
Really, if he met my expectation, he made my expectation to be disappointed, for real. Now, and the thing, no, to be honest, I was disappointed, but not like the days of 2020 when it started. 2020 was pretty rough too. They needed a couple updates to get to a stable version, right?
Yeah,
that acceptable. But I was in the alpha release, I was on the beta on the 2020, and then for us it was new. It was freaking eye candy. We came from P3D and FSX. Those one was Mr. Pixelus. Sky was pixel, and when you start to get all of these things, you get a little bit like, wow, and everything, and forget a little bit the bad side. But once you get used to it, you feel you get those crash. It was crashing as well. It was like you do too much. If you click too fast, bam, you're out. You have to restart and such.
You mean the menu thing, right?
Yes. And that's the thing. That's the thing that I'm always scared of when I click in the. That's why Yevini says, don't click too much, because it's. I'm one click close to get a crash to desktop. So for 2024, I already like put some expectation. I like, it's not gonna be perfect, so I'm not gonna be as mad. And then, yeah, the next day I was able to get in. But that day I forgot to tell you that day I was able to fly a few aircraft. I did the A350 and I did the Beluga. Oh. And yeah, and the first thing I noticed, it was the flight modeling. It was way different than 2020. The turbulence and everything. And the thing that I noticed the most, it was the FPS. It was freaking smooth that day. It was really smooth. Which today, Not anymore. Not anymore. I don't know what the heck they did, man.
Probably because you were one of the only people flying on that server.
No. We have Mr. Jacob in the chat. We flew from Omaha. We went to Omaha, and there were a lot of people in Omaha for some reason. I don't know why. With Nebraska. And then we went from that main airport, and we flew to the military airport that was just 15 minutes, and everything was fine. Did a nice landing, the fog, the weather, everything was really cool. But yeah, and after that, I wanted to check my sensitivity because it didn't feel good, and then that was the last time during the launch event that I touched it. And the next day I had to wait 24 hours to get back into it.
Yeah, it was. We can see how much stressful memories that those talks are bringing you. I see you spinning as you talk. It was stressful.
That's what I said is, hey, bossman, if anything negative or bad in your life is happening, just spin that thing and talk about it.
I feel like there was way too much hype on the release of Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. To be honest, I'm gonna give credit to Asobo and Microsoft for creating that much hype. They actually did very good in advertising their simulator, taking part in different flight sim events, the FS Weekend, the Expo, etc. And they created that hype where they basically created a population of enraged people waiting for that second whenever the simulator is available on Steam to hit that download button and storm the servers with as much power as they could. Right, I've seen some people on different Facebook groups packing candies, packing chocolate bars, some people getting survival kits, some people taking videos and pictures of their man caves, I'm gonna be spending the next week in this man cave, I'm not gonna be seeing my wife and my children and whatever. Why? It's not gonna run away from you, Anyways, I feel like that. I mean, I don't feel anymore at this point. They have confirmed it, but on release day, I think they had 1.2 million people on the servers, which crashed the servers, and they did not have the physical capacity to host as many people at once. And that is the reason behind us waiting 9 hours plus on the servers.
Well, there's something to talk about it as well, because when Joe made that, they invited people in Las Vegas to present 2024. Is it Las Vegas or Nevada or something like
Las Vegas, the Flight Sim Expo, yeah.
Yeah, something like no to the Grand Canyon, something like that. So
Yeah.
and he said that the number of people that flies, it's like millions. Like I think it's like 15 millions, or even a little bit more, something like that. So you already have a data that says how many people could potentially touch 2024. You already have that, and the server apparently didn't even like. They did apparently test whatever they say that it's going to be like around 600,000 people, which is way less than the data that it says, right?
Yeah.
So there was already a recipe for disaster. It's I work in servers, I manage servers, I work in desktop, I do those type of things. That's my work on the side. So planification, that's it.
Yeah. One funny thing that I thought was really weird is that a couple of days, I don't remember exactly how many days before the release, the full release, they actually did an alpha, what they called it, the tech alpha release. And then a couple of people were picked. Like I remember watching XP72, Blue Games and whatnot, and they were streaming it, and it looks on their videos, it looked absolutely awesome. But again, they only released it to a certain number of people, and obviously with a tiny number of people on a huge server having exclusive access to everything at this point, if it's not smooth, then nobody's gonna buy it. So I think they did a great job at showcasing the best of the simulator, almost like 2020 before its release. Remember the Piper engines, the fans starting to turn, and that intro, the first intro ever that we watched of Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. I remember myself being an X-Plane user, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, no way. And they even wrote on the introduction, footage taken from live gameplay. Wow. It's like, okay, this is not like a video, it's actually the gameplay, So I was really impressed. I was really impressed. So yeah, I think that they're really good at marketing. And that's what got us into that. You want to call it a trap, maybe?
Well, any company, any big company, anyway, to make sure that your product sells, you have to be strong in marketing, right?
Absolutely.
But the thing is, marketing. A trend in the marketing that I've seen is when someone do really big marketing, you need to be careful with that. You need to be careful. It won't be. For me, from my experience, I think it's really rare that the marketing, as big as it is, the product will deliver the same hype, right? Just look at I don't know, I can give an example like marketing. Have you seen Rolex, and not Rolex, but like Lamborghini making marketing and anything to make their cars, or Ferrari? There's no marketing. They just work on the side, and they're known for the quality of the project and stuff like that. And that is kind of comparable to other company like in developers in Microsoft, like PMDGs and iFly and Phoenix and those guys. They don't talk that much. You just silence. Bluebird, all of those, right? But I'm pretty sure. But when you touch those plane after that, it's just you can feel the quality about it, right? And it's just a trend that I've seen. It's big marketing is like loud mouth talking, and at the end, nothing is behind, right?
Of course. Yeah, so that was the release of Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. And now we're 4 months after the release. So I was kind of curious to see what is your impression of the simulator now, as opposed to how it used to be. We're looking into what was your expectation as to what the latest update has brought into the simulator, and all of the technical aspects that make up your mind on the simulator nowadays. So let us know what you think of it.
So to me, 2024, they released few patch after the disaster, which make it more stable.
the apocalypse.
Yeah, and when that happened, Phoenix released their first alpha available on this. It was good timing for me, and I was like, yeah, let's try it. And that's where I discovered more that the sim is beautiful, man. I'm not gonna lie about it. The sim is beautiful, like in terms of lightning, especially the morning lightning and sunset, sunrise. The daylight, I'm still that oversaturation of the sky that blinds, that looks like I'm going to heaven. They need to fix that.
Yeah.
I think for us on a computer, they need to adjust it. We like more like that. Our eyes can accept it a little bit more, man. But yeah, during daylight when you put it at noon, god damn it, it's just yeah. But I'm not gonna stay on that. But those things is really nice, and how they managed to make it smoother than 2020 because of multi-threading and all that was cool. And then I flew Phoenix, and I luckily I didn't have any issue. Then there is another patch, and bam, another issue, right? Crash to desktop. Oh yeah. And that kind of the thing that always wants me to go back to 2020. It's those type of experience that it's not like there's no smoothness. It's just like your game just stopped. It's just like, hey, stop, you don't play anymore, just get out of here. And that is what is frustrating. Now they release they started to do the beta for the Steam Update 1, and I tried it, and I guess that was my best experience for 2024. I had no issue during the beta, no issue at all, no crash to desktop, nothing. This is where I enjoy the most the sim. But of course we still have limitation because we don't have all our add-ons like we fly on 2020, right? The only plane that I can fly is Phoenix, messing around the A330s because I like the A330 as a plane, and the A380 as well. Sometimes it does work, sometimes it doesn't work, but when it works, he handles the FPS and everything pretty good. That sim, and I loved it. I really loved it. And they released this patch Sim 1 yesterday.
That's Sim Update 1.
That's where all the good things that I had just fade away, man. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, someone on Reddit wrote that Asobo, they fixed 10 bugs on this new update, and they created 1,000 new bugs. But listen, what is very interesting with the way that things are being developed and fixed and troubleshot with Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 is that since the release, it seems to be that there are some people that are having a completely disastrous experience with the simulator, whereas you have a certain number of people that are having it all right. I keep watching, like, you know, as a content creator and a passionate, first of all, in the aviation world and the flight simulation. I imagine you have an idea what my YouTube feed looks like. It's full of like simulation, aviation, what. So whenever there's something new coming up, I get it, right? And I kept watching V1 Simulation. I think V1 Simulation was the only guy that managed to have everything working for him in the best possible way. I was watching his streams from the release date, and then he flew the Phoenix. At some point, by the way, the Phoenix was like experimental. It's still experimental to this day, but at some point it stopped working for me. I would start my flight, I would select that airplane, and I would have like my screen flash 3 times, then the avionics would not work. So I'd be like, okay, my avionics doesn't work, I can't fly this airplane. But then I would go and watch V1 Simulation, and the guy was like, let's do a semi-long haul from like Boston to Los Angeles. I was like, what? I'm struggling to even start the airplane. The guy is doing like semi-long hauls. Like, something is wrong here, right?
Yeah.
So that brings us to the talk about this whole cloud-based streaming concept that Microsoft has brought to us with this new simulator. I feel like they did not do an introductory way into this cloud-based gaming. They just click, right? They went from Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, which was based on a hard drive. They switched us over to Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, which is 100% off of the cloud. And so I don't know how does it work. Bossman probably has more knowledge than I do in this aspect. In fact, let us know what you think about this cloud-based gaming, and what do you think about the future of this concept here, given the fact that the last 4 months have been the depth of hell, to say the least, in terms of experience.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, that technology that they use, it's, to me, from my perspective, it's great. It's great to do it because of, if you understand all the data that they use on the background, It's a lot, man. You're gonna need an army of a country of a computer to hold everything if you want it like physically into something, which is no consumer like us can have that. So
and
the
then you fly
cloud
over
kind of
Manhattan and it's apocalypse, right? Then you fly
yeah. And the thing is, the cloud technology that's where we're at now. Everything use cloud, not just Flight Simulator. Businesses, anything use clouds, right? That everything is streamed. That's where the technology is right now. Not this cloud, is AI, all of this, and that's they want to integrate that technology to make easier for everybody to use data and making sure that your sim doesn't take forever to load. Because 2020, man, when you crash and you reload, sometimes you don't want to relaunch it because of the loading. The loading takes forever in 2020 compared to 2024.
Yeah,
the 2024 is just like right now. Even right now, my 2024, I took like my phone and do a time check, loaded on 2 minutes and 30 seconds. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That's beautiful, right? Now the cloud thing itself, that's a new thing. So it won't be perfect. We're gonna see problem like this, but I think it's tweakable. I think over time they're gonna understand how it works, and I think that from my experience, it was just we were like the beta tester of this thing and see how it goes and adjust it based on our feedback, experience, and such. And right now they can see that it's not going well, so they have to do something to make it going well. But I would say in the future, that's gonna be a good thing. That's my opinion.
So you think that the cloud-based gaming is gonna be, so the hardware that we have now is gonna be sufficient enough to use a simulator as extensive as Microsoft Flight Sim 2024?
Well, the cloud-based gaming, I mean, we need to be careful that the Flight Simulator is still physical into your computer, but the data they need, like the map, they used to do that with the map with 2020, like how it loads. But now they integrated like models, everything, right? How everything loads. They want to like reduce the amount of data, the amount of space that you get on your hard drive, and then making sure that everything is just loaded when you need. And Flight Simulator, it's not like you play Counter-Strike, you need everything right away. Flight Simulator is just loading over time, and then by the time you need to get to from point A to point B, things can get loaded progressively, and that makes sense to use cloud. You don't need your data right away, but it's just now how they manage it to make it come in smooth and well structured. Because when you look at the Batman, the buildings and all of the stuff, it's not there yet, right? Or even how the plane loads when you unzoom it and you see polygons, and still need tweaks.
Yeah, and now they announced recently on their Q&A that they're gonna be adding Brazil.
Brazil!
They're gonna be adding Brazil.
To my people in Brazil! Puerto Rico, Brazil! Brazil!
Yeah, so I'm having a hard time to believe that they're going to be able to run the simulator as smooth as we expect it, when the simulator right now, without the world updates even kicking in, is still very much unstable.
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, before we move to Brazil, I was supposed to play Brazil this weekend, but when I heard that from Fred that Brazil is coming, I was like, hold up! Gonna wait it. We're gonna have to do Brazil. Hey, Brazil coming up
in 2 days.
A good thing.
That's fast.
Yeah,
Man.
it's next. I think it's Monday or Tuesday or something like that. It's coming up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes, man.
But the thing is, I think here's my thing. When Fred said that Brazil is coming, I think they're gonna slide something
with
to
the Brazil
fix the
update.
sim with the Brazil update. They did that. They did that with 2020. They did that multiple times. They're gonna slide something just to make sure that you see, it works, right?
So that your stream can run properly.
Yeah, because when you load your plane, and you load right in the jungle instead of the runway.
Oh yeah. Oh, you saw that, right?
B1.
We have a message from Kipetio. Kipetio says, I like how in Explain you load in quickly into the menu and then it takes a long time to spawn in the game. MSFS is quite the opposite, but sometimes I love I lose motivation after long main menu loading times. It really depends how much you are into aviation and flight simulation, brother. I remember the old days with X-Plane where I waited 20 minutes plus to get all the ortho scenery loaded into my flight. And I mean, if you're well seasoned into the simulation, yeah, that's not gonna mean anything to you. Honestly, right now, even MSFS 2020 compared to what X-Plane 11 used to be as far as loading, it's much better. We're getting a much better experience, and now with 2024, it's even better. Minus all the clicks and the click to desktop, right? Not clash. Yeah. It's not crash to desktop. It's click to desktop.
It's click to desktop. You one click close to get everything burning out, man. One click close. Too much click. That menu doesn't like double click. Be careful, right? When you go in the menu, just do like, when you do it. If you don't, it's gonna be cuckoo. It's gonna leave.
Oh yeah, it's gonna go crazy at you. I remember when they released the, I mean, there were deliveries, right? You would have to switch. You know how, like, the way that you need to select your livery on Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, I just don't understand the logic. You have to go to the airplane itself, then you have to hit airplane, then you have to go to configuration, and then from configuration you get all the variants with all the I feel that is really complicated compared to how it used to be.
They should have kept the same model as 2020. It's very simple.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, and very simple. Like, you click on the plane you want to fly, and this is the list. That's it. Don't make it complicated. This one, you go into a menu, into a sub menu, into your under a menu, which means you have to click more, and more click means more crash will happen.
There you go.
That's what we got.
Yeah, the way that I do it with Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 is very simple. I go to my hangar on the menu. And then on the hangar, you can switch the airplane and then select the livery that you want. And the way that they put it is, I mean, I have I'm using 2K, right? So I don't have all of the icons visible, but it's partial. I just have to scroll and it goes sideways and you see all of your liveries. You just pick the one that works and boom, that's it. But with Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, the airplane that you see, it takes all of your screen. And then you're looking at the liveries and you're like, what was that? Which livery was it again? And the way that the liveries appear, like for example, with the release of 2024, I wanted to try out the A330 from Air Algérie, right? A330-200, and then I'm like, okay, it must be the A330-200 GE, like General Electric engines, right? But then it shows as VIP airplane. It's not a VIP airplane, it's a passenger airplane, right? It shows there on the livery sections, and you're like, how am I gonna figure that out, right? And then sometimes you have the default liveries from Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 which appear even though you selected the one that you want, right? So it's been a trial and error playing with the menus to say the least. And of course with all the crash to desktop, it makes the experience even funnier.
Yeah,
you go to sleep at night and you're like, I hope tomorrow when I try it, it's not gonna crash on me.
But when you think about it, right now 2024 is experiencing exactly, for anyone that watched that didn't know 2020 is experiencing exactly the same moment as 2020 has at the beginning. For the first 6 months, it's been a gong show, man. It crashed desktop, performance goes down, a sim update comes, it breaks something else. It's like that. That's exactly what 2021 is experiencing right now as well, which is kind of weird to see this because they had the experience from 2020. Yeah, it looks like they didn't learn from it. And they're doing it with the new sim as well. That's
probably because they're building the simulator on a completely different architecture. Right, the previous one was based off of hardware capacity, like hard drive capacity. This one is more of a cloud-based gaming, which I believe they needed to structure things in a completely different way, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably different structure and everything behind.
And now we're streaming the game. We're no longer.
But still.
Yeah.
Preparation.
Yeah, it's a good progress.
Yeah.
Until it works.
It's like a food, man. it's like when someone make you to try food. I hope you tried it first before you make it try it to someone else to make sure that he likes it. That's it. Try it first, man, before you give it to someone else.
Yeah. What's up, Marcus Aviation? Hope you're doing well, man. Thank you for joining us, man. Kipitio says, one thing that always catches me off guard is when you select another plane on delivery, it sends you back from the gate to the runway, and I have to reload all over again. I haven't had that bug, to be honest. I have had a funnier bug. By the way, we're talking about right now. I'm gonna let Bossman think of, maybe give us a list of the funniest, craziest bugs and glitches that you've ever experienced on Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. And I'm gonna start. The funniest one is last week, maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago. I was, you know, sometimes when I'm not streaming, I'm still on my Discord on the first class VC, and some of the members of the channel have access to that VC, so they'll come over and they'll watch me do stuff, right? And there was Yevgeny there, and I was getting myself ready to fly the A321neo from iniBuilds on Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, and I believe the flight was from Charlotte to Los Angeles. And I was setting up my plane, and I was following the checklist, you know, trying to please Yevgeny, who's an ex-future colleague, no, a future ex-colleague, I guess, in the aviation world, right? And he's like, yeah, I like what you're doing. And I'm looking at the checklist and stuff. And then I realized that I had a keybind on my throttle that was not working properly. And basically, it was something really stupid. It was the reverser, not the reverser, sorry, the spoilers, the speed brakes. The axis was reverted, right? So instead of, you know, when you go completely retracted, it'd be completely open, right? And vice versa. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna hit that, you know, the controller icon, something that looks like this on the menus on Microsoft Flight Sim. You click there, and I was messing around, and I'm at the gate, right? And I go and I'm like, change the keybind, and I click, and I swear you guys, I did not do anything. I was there, I was on VATSIM, there was the ground, there was a tower connected. I was at the gate, and it clicked, and my airplane suddenly went from on the ground to 31,000 feet nose down. I was like, what happened? And Yevgeny was like, caca poo poo, caca poo poo. Nice. But again, I persisted and actually did that flight all over again. I reloaded the simulator and I started my flight. And further later on, Bossman even jumped into the Discord stream. And I'm flying. I'm getting very close to Los Angeles, and he's like, okay, what's gonna be your landing rate? And we're all getting excited about the landing rate on the A321neo. And then I enter the Angel 4 arrival in Los Angeles, and then boom, it freezes. And then everybody's like, oh no, it's just dead. It's crashed the desktop. That was a funny one.
Nice.
What about you, Bossman? Oh, hold on. Markers Aviation says, I had the Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 bug where the whole cockpit and plane turns red when I just turn on an aircraft light. Have you seen that? I don't use is it like the flashlight or something? I think it's probably the Aviation flashlight. By the way, Marcus Aviation, your question is very sad and it matches with this song, so... I know what you're talking about. I think it's the flashlight. It's the Aviation flashlight that makes your whole cockpit red. It's disgusting. I don't know. I keep thinking that the people behind, I mean, we don't expect developers to be pilots at the same time, right? It's two different and very completely offside functions. But you know, I like to expect Asobo to know at least the minimum in terms of aviation before they touch anything. Because if you're gonna develop something that feels like Toy Story, by the way, which is a game that they developed as well, it's like, what are you trying to do here?
Yeah. Well, Asobo, when they developed this game, they got touched into the aviation. They has to.
Yeah, they said that some of them took private pilot licenses to know how airplanes move and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then it's like when you make movies as well, some people needs to be like into that skin of the person they need to represent to really play that role properly, right? To understand, because you cannot be just someone outside and pretend that, yeah, I'm gonna put in this project and you're gonna know about it. You have to be prepared, right? And that, yeah. So to go back to the bugs for 2024, I mean, funny thing, I had some bug that is frustrating, but I had some funny one that was caught on stream as well. The first one is, you guys know I'm flying on the first officer seats. I don't sit on the left. The reason why I'm doing that, not because I want to be a first officer, it's just because you guys can see it. My joystick is on my right side, and my what is it? Throttle is on my left side, but it's made for left-handed. It's not made for right-handed, so I have to put it that way, right? And that's why I'm in the F4. So in 2024, they added this avatar that sits next to you, and then when I move to my seat, that avatar disappear.
That's
so
nice.
I'm like, okay, that's fine, right? But sometimes I look, the mouse in 2024 is the added acceleration. That is something that is stupid. Please remove it. Put back the one that you have in 20. That's one is perfect. So with sometimes, if your frame goes down and you move your mouse will do a 360 in the cockpit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one day mine did the 360 and he landed right into the mouth of the avatar, and you can see all the teeth. His tongue and everything. And I got scared, and everybody got scared. I mean, what the fuck is
this? The same thing, something similar happened to me, except it was not the mouth. I've seen the mouth though. You can see the teeth and stuff. It's disgusting. But I've had the eyeball, man. I had like 2 eyeballs in front of me, and I was like, "What's going on, man?"
Yeah.
Beanie baby, good evening.
Baby.
Beans.
And the other one I got was, I was flying the Max 737 Max, and for some reason my plane stopped and went to a free fall. But when it did free fall, it was starting to spin around like this, and the wind flex went like that. Like the plane went like that, like this.
On 2024?
Just spinning like, and I was like, okay, all right, guys.
Yeah.
Welcome to Xbox.
Microsoft Flight Show Simulator. Yeah, there you go, man. Well, I haven't had. By the way, I think I'm one of the only people that have not tried the 737 Max from Asobo. From day one, I saw that airplane. I loaded into that airplane on the simulator. And it was nighttime. I always load in my flights in Japan because I'm in Montreal, and then usually I use the simulator towards the evening, so it's darker here. In Japan, I know it's brighter, so I do that. That day, for some reason, it was still dark in Japan. I pop in my airplane, I get into the cockpit, I look at the airplane from the outside, I'm like, great. Then it's dark in the cockpit, right? So I try to turn on the lights in the cockpit, and no light turns on. I'm like, okay, something is wrong with my simulator. I restart it, and I do daytime. When I do daytime, I'm like, okay, we're ready to take off. Get the strobe lights on, and I look outside, and there's no strobe lights, no taxi lights, nothing. And my throttle, like I went full thrust, toga basically, and then my throttle, you see the N1, it goes like, it's like it doesn't want to go to toga, it wants to go. Something is trying to push it back down, and everything was set correctly with the keybinds. There was no issue. I had no weird miscellaneous controller, ghosts controlling my throttle, whatever. It just, to this day, it does not want to understand any of my orders to that airplane. So I was like, you know what? I don't think Asobo is ready to develop any jet. For now, we're just gonna stick to the GA airplanes, which are good to some extent, right? But no jets. Please, no jets.
Yeah, I mean, my expectation from from Microsoft Asobo making plane itself, my expectation was already set. We since FS95, we didn't have like perfect plane. Like, you just have plane to fly and enjoy the flying. And for that point, I didn't have too much expectation. But yeah, the plane behaves weirdly. Like the 737 Max. Hey, by the way, the rendering 3D of the 737 Max is, man, they put a nice work on it. The reflection, polygons, everything.
The 737
like
Max?
Yeah, the 737 Max. You can compare it with the A330.
Yeah.
A330 is kakapupu next to it, man. It's
really?
Kakapupu. Oh yeah. Just put both. I'm like, when I flew that for the first time, I was like, God damn, the reflection. And I had a stream about it. I put it to different angle of the lights and everything. It was just like, yeah, they did a fantastic job on that.
Yeah, but again, it's just modeling, right?
Yeah, it's the modeling. It looks good for some, but the behavior of the plane, yeah, it's questionable because you guys, I mean, you know, landing, that's my phase. That's the thing I'm obsessed with. So I was target focusing landing, and then at 30 feet, go idle. The plane go down like a rock, man. It's like I took my speed and just throw it. Idle. It doesn't even give you the time to, like, you know, the smooth like this. No, it was like idle,
and it hits the ground. Oh my god! And his name is John Cena.
The moment you go idle, looks like this. Like on the wings, there were like 2 cables, and they just cut it like.
Yeah. That's the stories from Microsoft Flight Sim 2024.
Yeah.
So, Bossman, just briefly, in 5 minutes, what can you tell us about performance overall in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, beginning and up to now? What can you tell us about the graphics, if there was any improvement, any major changes, anything that you have anything that has considerably changed in your opinion? And tell us about the stability. So, just to sum it up in 5 minutes.
Okay, in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Graphically, the thing that stood out is the lightning. Okay, but they still need to tweak that daylight when it's between 11 a.m. and I would say 3 p.m. They need to tweak that zone. That zone needs to be tweaked to be as beautiful as if it was sunrise and sunset. Weather, the clouds looks somewhat. This one is a little bit hard because sometimes the cloud looks really nice, and sometimes when they are sparse, they look like popcorns but not well developed, and then you see all the pixels and all the things. They need to tweak that as well, right? Those are the things. The weather is not the clouds and everything is not perfect depending of the situation, but when they all like condensed all together, they look impressive, pretty nice. But when they start to be sparse, yeah, that's the thing. Performance. The performance at the beginning and during the sim update 1 beta, I had really good performance, right? At New York, A380, I can have up to 135 FPS. And 135 with the A380.
When was that? Like when they released when the flyby A380 was
that was before the beta, and that's during the beta.
Yeah. I got you. I think I remember one of your videos when you were messing around with like secondary scaling 1.5, and you were messing around with the A380. Yeah.
Even without the secondary scaling, it just by nature, it's performant. You can see that is handling that A380 the way 2020 want. 2020, you put that A380, everything you're gonna be like, these too much things happening here. And 2024 he knows how to handle that things.
Yeah.
And performance right now since yesterday, not acceptable. Not acceptable to me. No.
Okay. Beanie Baby says, Bossman, I thought you are the master of buttering planes. This behavior is unacceptable. No slamming. He's talking about the 737.
Well, buddy, when you are through cables and someone cut it, you can be the best, the champions. You're just gonna free fall.
It's a rock, man. The flying rock.
It's a rock.
What do you have going on in the background? That's one of my previous flights on VOD that is just on the background to keep something going on. So, you know, one thing I wanted to mention, I think Bossman forgot about that one, is that when Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 was released, you know, we all have something called a DLSS swapper, right? Which tells you what is the DLSS version that the simulator was released with. And mind you guys, I think on one of you guys, no, Bossman released a video. I think, was that you or Island Sim Pilot? Anyways, one of you guys released the video and was mentioning that Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 was shipped on release day with a DLSS version that was actually even earlier than the DLSS version that Microsoft 2020 came with. Which doesn't make sense, right? Especially for a game that is supposed to support DLSS. So I don't know if they did that because of Xbox. I don't know if it's a matter of compatibility or if they intentionally left it that way so that we can tweak it and we can update it ourselves to whichever DLSS version that we want to go for.
Yeah. So it was shipped with DLSS 2 V2 when it was released. It was the same DLSS as 2020. Now DLSS itself, I mean, the thing they probably work during that time because it was that during that time when they started to develop 2024, it was DLSS 2, and that was the framework. So the thing, I don't know about game development, but when you work with a framework, you have to stick with that and work around that framework. And when you release it with that framework. And then when you need to do an update, you have to arrange that the new framework works that update without causing any harm or anything to how it works, right? And I think that's what I will understand from it. And then it's not a problem. I don't take that as an issue, because if you work well within a framework, you should have any performance issue or anything. And then I know I released a video about DLSS 2, 3, now you have DLSS 4, but the performance you get between those DLSS as a FPS, you don't get that much, maybe 1-2%, or for some of them, nothing. What you gain is visual, because DLSS reduce your picture and then rescale it. So because when you reduce your resolution, you get more FPS, and then you rescale it to a bigger screen, because now we have big screens and everything to make sure that it doesn't look blurry. And that's one of the things we have as an issue when you use DLSS. It's blurry. It's blurry when you watch your things and stuff, right? And with the DLSS trick and stuff, you try to make things working a little bit better visually, but it doesn't mean that you're always gonna get performance or anything like that. So,
and if you have to suggest the best, I would say, to your understanding, what would be the best settings on Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 as far as DLSS, if you want to get performance?
Well, you start with hardware, not just settings. It's your hardware. That's where everything starts. For my opinion, CPU doesn't matter. AMD, Intel, as long as it's multi-core, like does the job, like those 13 gen, 14 gen, Core Ultra, or you have the 9800X 3Ds. Those that end with 3Ds, especially with the better cache management and such. Those are nice CPUs. That's not a problem, because we need to don't forget that CPU, MSFS is probably CPU, not your graphic card. Okay. And secondly, it's gonna be a graphic card. And the graphic card I always suggest for MSFS is NVIDIA's. I'm not sponsored by NVIDIA's. I'm not saying that things. It's the NVIDIA's. Why? Because the NVIDIA frame gen that is native works very well. And that's you start to gain it from the 4000 series, right? Which is, unfortunately, it's expensive. Not everybody can get that. And now you have it with the 5000. The 3000 series and 2000 series, they don't have that, but you have the modes. But I tried the modes, even the modes, I don't like it. The modes feels like lossless scaling, but it's integrated. It feels the same. It's not as good as the basic frame gen that is natively within the 4000 series and the 5000 series. It's not the same. So I would say it starts with your hardware. Then the settings, I would say the less you put in your sim, the better it is. That's the first thing. The less, when you start to put, for me, Rex Atmos and Auto FPS.
That's the holy grail, man.
Those are the two things I will use. Auto FPS is your best friend for anyone. Auto FPS, because of the LOD, or you manage it when you're close to the ground and you're up in the sky. That helps with the FPS. It does work 100%. And the Rex Atmos is just visual, but that's the second thing that I will use. And I won't use nothing else. That's it. Those two. If you ask me to get those say intention beyond ATC, all of this thing, I don't know. I don't get them.
Some may actually argue that 2020 with Rex Atmos looks better and more realistic than 2024 with its current engine.
I made a flight yesterday, and I was just like, "What the heck, man?" If you see my screenshot of the Iberia during the sunrise, it was like, some of the viewer was like, "Hey, this is 2024, right?" No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It is not. It's thought it was 2024, right? It's not.
Yeah, very crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say in my opinion, well, the same thing that we asked Bossman. Now I'm gonna talk about them. For the performance, as far as the simulator, I'm gonna say that not in my opinion, but according to my systems, the performance went way better than it used to be upon release, because, well, it's just like Bossman mentioned, it has to do with hardware, and I am the proof of that. When Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 was released, I had the RTX 3080 Ti, which I was using in combination with the FSR mod to get the frame generation, but I was having a lot of stutters. So you know the 360 thing with the camera that Bossman was mentioning, it would happen to me all the time. All the time. I would spawn, you know how when you spawn with your airplane, your character spawns on the ground and you have to walk to your airplane? My character, I could not even move the mouse to look at my airplane and, you know, do a walk around or something. It would always just stutter, you know? So when I got the upgrade done, I upgraded to a 4070 Ti Super. It was day and night. First of all, I had the frame generation support, which was native, apparently, with Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. And also the smoothness, and I would no longer have those, like, stutters. I would still have stutters, of course, because it's a Microsoft and a Sobo. But I would no longer have the same stutters that I used to have continuously, which basically broke the immersion. So that is what, to me, sounds like a performance upgrade. And of course, once Auto FPS became compatible with Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, that was basically the holy grail. That was like the best of settings. You know, I took Bossman's advice and I went into secondary scaling 2.0. And I went to DLSS. I'm the kind of guy who wants to always get the best at everything, like best score, best this, best that. A little simmered down now because we got the champion of landings here, but but with DLSS, I always wanted to go DLSS quality, right? But it was hurting me without me even knowing it, right? So I watched his video and he was like, DLSS performance would give you even better frames. So I went secondary scaling 2, DLSS performance, and ladies and gentlemen, now I'm having what you can see on my streams. In fact, I haven't had any crash to desktop, God forbid, for the last maybe 30 hours of simulation on Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. As far as graphics, I think that the graphics are still broken. In my personal opinion, it no longer has to do with performance, it's graphics. It's subject to each and everyone's opinion. I think that the clouds don't look good at all. The visuals in the morning, sunrise and sunset, looks great to some extent. I think that 2020 plus Rex Atmos looks much better. But during the daytime, when you look at your clouds, they remind me of the clouds on Flight Simulator X. I'm not sure if you guys remember Cloud Force, Rex Cloud Force, or like Active Sky on FSX or P3D. They look like that. The clouds in the distance have no definition. They have a purple bottom part and they have a bluish top part, and it doesn't look good. And if you look at your horizon, if you do a 360 and you look at your horizon, whatever the sun is right underneath, it looks perfect, and then that perfect look fades into kakapupu as you look towards any side of your horizon. Basically anything below the sun looks awesome. From the moment the sun goes up at noon, I guess, on the simulator, it's no longer created that light scattering on the simulator. I think that's what we're looking for, the light scattering. Now, I don't know if Microsoft and Asobo will be able to do that, but I'm really hoping for Rex Atmos to become compatible with 2024, so we can definitely take care of that, and, you know, so it can look better. The second thing is the bloom effect has been removed. It's no longer an option on 2024. It used to be an option. Some people liked it, some people didn't. I'm one of the people that liked it because at night, the bloom effect gives you a little bit of a better, I guess, a better perspective between what's going on inside your cockpit and outside. And sometimes when you go to your wing views, when you're close to the wing, with the bloom effect, it pops those nav lights and those strobe lights even more. But with 2024, everything looks dim. It's almost like X-Plane with HDR mod, X-Plane 11. I don't know. That's my opinion. Bossman looks like he disagrees, but
I don't like bloom effect.
You don't like bloom effect?
I don't like it. I think bloom just break the sharpness.
Okay.
And I can interact with it. That's my view, because when I see those things, it just annoys me a lot, the bloom. And in 2024 they removed the option to remove it, because the bloom is there. It's there, the bloom. You can see it. You can see it at night on the cities when the lights, and the lights, by the way, it's different at night in 2024. You can see it on the strobe lights, bloop, and you can see the glows, all of those things. And you can see during daytime when the lights hits the fuselage and reflects, you can see the glow around it. And I hate that that glow. I like when it's sharp. You hit with the lights,
disappears. Yeah, but right now 2024, even without bloom effect, remember the day when we did the flight to Madagascar? Your bloom, I mean, you had no bloom effect, obviously, but the strobe lights, when you were showing your airplane from the outside, it looked like very weird.
Oh no, the bloom is there. It's we
oh, so there is. Oh,
this
okay.
bloom in 2024. That's one of the things we asked when you watch the what is that, the wish list of 2024 for them to fix, to look at. Bloom is there, the option to remove bloom. We ask for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, for stability, I think I'm gonna knock on wood, but again, my simulator has been stable so far. The last time that I had a glitch and issue with 2024 was really the day that I tried the mighty iniBuilds A321neo from Charlotte to Los Angeles. It was not stable. I had issues, and even though I fought against it, I made it towards the 2/3 out of the flight, or maybe even closer to the full flight. But you know, out of nowhere, I ended up just crashing to desktop. I feel like there's something going on here. I'm on Steam, by the way, and I'm still on the beta. I'm still on the beta thing, right? I don't know if my simulator has been updated to the latest release or if I'm still on the previous beta. But so far, so good. I'm not having issues. I don't know if that's the trick. I don't know if you tried it, Bossman, or not, but that seems to be doing good. And even though we did a flight yesterday from Algiers to Paris on the A350, which is a very shaky airplane, very shady, very questionable, it still went well. So when Bossman told me, I'm gonna give you $20 if you land on the marker and below 200 feet per minute, well, you know what? I did land right there, but I didn't land below 200 feet per minute. But I was like, Bossman, I beat you, because my stream went on till the end and he didn't crash. And I'm doing a reference to his he removed it now, but the Jakarta thing.
It's not Jakarta, it was Taipei to Narita.
To Narita, yeah. Oh yeah.
And then we took off and it crashed, and I was pissed and I just left.
He was like, guys, I'm getting really pissed. Boom.
that was my maybe my 10th crash of the day. And but I'm always someone who wanna give it a try again. And the next day I talked to Fred and I say, Fred, I need to show you something. And bam, the thing crashed. And fuck. And I was just like, come on, man. And I was like, I'm gonna uninstall this. I was on my Discord. I said, I'm gonna install this. I can't do this anymore. It's I'm willing to try 10 times. I'm this type of person. I'm not giving up on the first or 2 tries or 3 tries. I can try it 10 times. But if after 10 times you make me hate you, I will hate you for the rest of my life. So for your security, for the sake of your future with Bossman, I'd rather just leave with this last attempt and come back later. And hopefully when I come back later, you make me fall in love again with a smoothness.
All right, guys, moving on to segment number 2. Now I think we've talked enough about Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. But the surprise of the day, the cherry on top of the cake in terms of talks. And I'm not saying shit talking, but I'm just saying talks, right? Segment number 2 is about the first payware Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. And by that we mean first payware airplane. And by that we mean iniBuilds A350
V1.
so we're gonna take turns, Bossman. You're gonna be the first one to start. Let's give an initial impression, a 5 minutes initial impression of the iniBuilds A350 from release date up until now. Tell us everything, all the crunchy details, all of the drama or whatever, all of the rose water, whatever. Give us all you have. 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
5 minutes. Oh man, all right, I'm trying to. Okay, let's try to be professional here and not get your channel cancelled.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
No, there's a bad and there's a ugly and there's a beautiful. There's just two things.
Beauty and the Beast.
The Beauty and the Beast. The Beauty and the Beast, man. The Beauty and the Beast. So, one of the beauty. Let's start with the good things, right? Let's not start with the bad things. Let's start with the good things. Model-wise. And I'm not gonna talk first about what iniBuilds did, but if you look at the A350, that fucking plane, bro, it looks good. It looks good.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
The way the Airbus that designed that plane, it looks good. From whatever the angles the text, especially from that front, the nose in the eye direction of the camera with the what is that? The mascara. What is that thing? The black things around the window?
The mask.
The mask?
Mm-hmm.
Man, that plane looks good. And when you showed me that plane in X-Plane as well, which X-Plane graphically doesn't look as good as... It looks good. That plane looks good. So no matter who's gonna make that plane, it's gonna look good. So the way they made the renders for the A350 iniBuilds, beautiful. Beautiful. Mm-hmm. And when they did all the marketings, video and such, it was like, I can see all the work on it. It looks good. And I was like, fuck, I really wished they did the same for the A330. Mm-hmm. It doesn't cost you any codings and anything. It's just how you apply your textures and how you do it. You don't need a line of codes to do it. You don't need that. It's just how you work your stuff and applies it, right? That's where also the FDI is going through. They're remodeling their airplane. You guys, I don't know if you saw the MD-11, but it looks like an exportation from an old sim that did put it into this new sim, and you can see the difference that it's not belongs there. It's not supposed to be there. So, and when I saw that plane, I was like, God damn, it looks good. No, anyone will fall in love. Anyone will fall in love. Real pilot, not a pilot, or people doesn't know nothing about it, or just Xbox, whatever customer that we have in Microsoft 2020 or 2024, they will fall in love. That plane is freaking beautiful. It's beautiful. The cockpit inside too, I love it. The cockpit, I love it. The way they did it, I love it more than the Phoenix. I'll be honest here.
The 350.
Yeah, 350. The way they did the cockpit, the design and everything, I love it more than the Phoenix. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but the cabins and all, I don't care. The server, I don't care those things. I don't watch those things. Those things is just extra tra-la-la, right?
Well, those things are they're just there for visual purposes, man. Like, honestly, you gotta be freaking delusional if you are on every single flight going to prepare your cockpit and then go down that hatch to go and look at your servers. I mean, even in real life, I'm pretty sure they don't even look at those servers. So I don't even understand why they modeled those servers. It's like going to your cargo bay. Like, how many of you guys go to their cargo bays when you're loading cargo? It's there's no point doing that, man. I think there's a performance option on the 350 where you can actually hide those things and save on performance, because it's just, I don't know, they just trying to, you can feel that iniBuilds is trying to impress so much by adding these little pieces of fluff. I call this fluff because it has no tangible value as far as the simulation is involved, you know what I mean? No tangible value at all. We're here to fly airplanes. We're not here to go to the server, you know.
I'd rather you spend time to make your system working better than working time making a freaking server, man. I don't care about those pieces. Those are extra polygons you had into your plane that doesn't give any benefit. It just gives visual benefits, but not the true benefits about the plane. We're in a simulator. It's extra, it's nice, right? But it just had weight that you don't need. You don't necessarily need.
Unless and I'm approaching you guys with a goofy mindset here, but unless you can use your 2024 characters and you can do a fist fight in the avionics bay. You can fight with your teammates. So
no, for the beast side of the still on the graphic side of things, it's around the animation of the plane. When you do the engine start, that's one of the things that I watch because I like those details. I hate how the engine starts, man. It's just like let's just code something quickly, animate things quickly, that the engine just spin and go. That's it. When you watch the A380 fly-by-wire start the engine, you see the momentum.
Yeah. Even on X-Plane, we tried it yesterday, right? Flight Factor 350.
It came momentum. You see that fan needs to turn. It comes, bam, blade turns. You don't have those. You see that they work on something to make it as visual and nice as possible. And then once it gets the momentum, you have pretty much the same effects as the A330 has, the default one. The flat gray where the lights hits in and makes it look not nice at all, not nice. So that's one thing on the animation of the fans. And the other thing is the 3-step boogie. Come on, man.
Doesn't exist. It doesn't work.
That thing when it lands, if you fly the 1000, the last wheel will go under the ground, right? That animation, instead of having the beam, 1 step, 2 step, and bam, the plane sits on the suspension. And dude, those are details. I would love you to work on those at freaking server, man. What the heck is the server gonna do to me? I like to see those because we are content creator. We do replays. We like to watch those moments, right? It's really nice to see. They should have worked on something like that, right? But
yeah. And that's how they would sell more their product if they add those meticulous details. Like nobody wants an avionics bay, honestly. It's good for your trailer, you know. Before you release your product, if you show the avionics bay, everybody's gonna be like, wow, they went all the way to actually model the avionics bay. But who cares, man? It's like I heard that half of the circuit breakers, not how you call them, the things that you can, the circuit breakers, half of them they're not even clickable, right?
Yeah.
You get a lot of things that not even clickable. So what's the point modeling a piece of servers that has a lot of blinking lights, green and red and all over the place, and all you can do is just go around them and be like, okay, sure, I'm here. You can't even take your character actually from Microsoft into that avionics bay. Like let's say, okay, you want to do a video and you want to make your VOD pretty cool. You would show your character, the pilot, just walking in the avionics bay and checking it. You can't do that. You have to use your camera, your freaking cockpit camera, all the way down, and it's brutally slow to do that, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I see a better necessity to have a cabin modeled where you can have proper wing views, where you can see your GSX passenger move in and out, right? Then do a avionics bay. It's just whatever.
Yeah, the wing view, yes. I would say the wing view is very important to have. It's one of the view you also, because we are me myself, I'll be mostly more passenger than someone in the cockpit. And when I fly because I travel a lot too, being on the wings view, it's one of the things we like as an av geek, you know, watching the flaps, the spoilers and activation, watching the engine bay when they go reversers. Those are cool to see, and those are really, really important to have. But the cabin itself, just for me myself, I mean, if you don't have a cabin, I won't die about it. But yeah, wing view, that's I would say the requirement. Okay, so Bossman, I got a question for you here.
I want you to elaborate as much as possible. So picture yourself 2-3 days before the release of iniBuilds A350. Okay, I want you to put yourself in that mindset. Tell me what was your expectation of the A350 and compare that expectation to the day the airplane was released and you tried it for yourself and you felt the airplane with your controls and you've done that first, that first crazy flight that you wanted to try.
Okay. So my expectation for the iniBuilds, here's the thing. When a company made something, you can feel already how they work around things. The airport, the plan they had before, but also the default plan that they had when they built it for 2024. One of the things is that I was very careful about it is the performance of the product, FPS wise and such. And I'm already like, any builder gonna make a plane, FPS is gonna get hit a rock again. We're gonna have some FPS issue and such like that. It's automatic. You just go like that naturally, because when you go to London Heathrow, your FPS is not the best. When you go to JFK, FPS is not the best. I mean, now in 2024 it helps, but it's still not the best in my opinion, right? That's one of the things. And the second thing is, I don't know too much iniBuilds. The only the plane that I started with was the A310 in 2020, and I'm not too into that plane. It's not really the plane that talks to me, so I didn't really fly it. Then we had the A330. I know it's a default plane, don't get me wrong, it's a default plane. We don't expect like study level of it, but iniBuild, when they kind of talk about the plane looks like, okay, it's a default plane, but you can do some still good thing about it, like up to high fidelity, I would say, per se. And when I tried the plane for the first time, I was like, God damn, it's cool, it feels good and everything. But once you start to get into the systems and everything, I'm like, wait, this thing reminds me of the 320 Neo. It reminds me of the plane that they had. They remind me of things that they already used in the past. Why it's like they used something in the past and put it into this plane again, right? And that's the thing, it's this kind of pattern, and it makes like, okay, and looks like we're gonna have something similar as well for the A350. That came to my mind, that something in the past will be used to do this plane, and will be there, and identically and you're gonna feel the identity that the plane is very similar to another plane. And the A350, it was hard for me because they were also a piece of emotion, because I flew the A350 to go back home, French B. I was worried that French B won't be there in day one, because I really wanted to do that, just to redo that flight, and that way, that piece of emotion to say, hey man, try to be a little bit positive about it, because maybe it's the best plane ever. Well, they released it, and god damn it, man, 108 Canadian dollars with tax 120. It hurts, brother. I watched the big streamers that got the pre-release saying that, oh, bam, big title, best aircraft ever.
Even real pilots doing that too.
PMDG like. Welcome to the new airplane of the century. Come on, man. Come on. Come on, man.
You know, that last sentence that you just said, welcome to, you should have done it with your voice effect. Welcome to the
Welcome to the friend of the century, the A350, ladies and gentlemen.
Come on, man.
Yeah, man.
More on a serious note. Yeah, the big marketing and the works around it was well done, but man, we have smart people in the community, man, that can.
We're not stupid, yeah.
We have smart people, man. We're not playing on Xbox, man. It's not. Hey, bro, it's not. I'm using the T60000 that I don't know what I'm doing, man. That this doesn't change my way to think about things. I can feel it, man. When your things take off and it feels like the A330 or the A400, I'm like, come on, man. Don't bullshit this with us. And I've seen people like taking the plane, they did a rotation. They rotate. You can clearly see that things on day one lifted like a piece of paper, lifted like a freaking lifted.
Cessna.
Yeah, and I've seen people just doing this, pitching like a little bit like this to the front, and they're like, "Oh my god, this
feels so good,
amazing! Oh my god! Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? You just pitch it. He didn't take it like a full ride. Like, I do level D simulator, and it's mostly 737 that I do. I don't do Airbus because 737 is my plane. And when the CFI, the instructor tells me, hey, I don't want you to use autopilot. You're just gonna follow the goddamn flight director and fills the goddamn plane. And I'm like, wait, but I'm used to fly to 10,000 and just eat AP and then wait for the top descent, right? Now he wants me to do everything. And I was complaining to you and Yevgeny because you are a real, by the way, you guys don't know, but he's an ex-787 real pilot, DZ Aviation, and Yevgeny is a real 76 pilot. So I'm not between. I have real pilots around me, guys. I'm not talking bullshit or anything. I have real pilots around me, and I'm complaining to two guys because I do level D. I'm like, dude, why is the yoke so heavy? God damn it! It's really heavy. It's like you have to fight. You have to fight, go, and at the same time you feel the plane moving, and you have the G's, and I'm like, ooh, and when you do that repeatedly, you start to know those notion that the plane should behave this way. And with the A350, I didn't get that. A350, I was like, what's going on, man? It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. And landing, that's the moment. That's the bossman crucial moment at landing. Why is the flight director is following my point instead of going away from me when I was? Why? The flight director, if you guys don't know that
the plus, yeah,
that dot, you want to center it. When I go to a level D, or if I use PMD, GFS labs, or all those planes, when you go away from it, that thing's gonna tell you, hey, where are you going? You better come back here.
Yeah, it goes down, right?
Yeah, in the A350, that thing is following me, man. He's like, I'm coming with you. He's like, I'm coming with you. So the problem with that is that when it comes with you and you try to adjust, when you pitch, you're already like too low, and then by the time he's trying to come back, there's a delay, and then you're already like off pitch of your descent. So you're not holding your 3-degree descent or whatever the path is. You're always off, and then you're never stable. And then when you arrive to the crucial moment, well, before the patch 1.02, that thing was a Cessna, man. A little pitch, just a little pitch, you're ready for a go round. Or V1.
Yeah, that video is
all right, you guys might not understand why I'm saying V1. Also, we saw a video of a guy who was streaming. He was about to land, and the moment before impact, the pen says V1.
Yeah, it did.
Oh wow, man.
It did. I saw it and I was like, what? Like, am I high or something? You know what?
And the poor dude on his streaming was like, the poor dude, his eyes was like he's ready to land this, right? And V1.
It's like, what is happening? You know,
what is happening?
You know, honestly, I really want to use this as a call to all the I'm not gonna name anybody specifically, but you know, some people, they say, oh, I'm a real life type rated A3 whatever pilots, right? You know, when this type of issues happen, how can you say that this is the best airplane that has been ever developed on a Microsoft Flight Simulator platform? It just puts your credibility way lower than what you hoping to give, right? It's obviously, let's be very honest to each other, guys. iniBuilds, we know their model, right? We know their business model, and I've mentioned it before the release of iniBuilds. I've even posted a note on my Discord asking people to not get too impulsive and buy into the hype too much. iniBuilds and Asobo and Microsoft, they've done absolutely awesome jobs as far as marketing their products and advertising them ahead of the release, right? However, if you look into the history of iniBuilds, and myself included, I was looking into that history. I came from X-Plane 11 with their products, iniBuilds, with the same airplanes on Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. I'm talking about the A310 and the A300. I've flown those airplanes. And then with the expectation of the A350, I was thinking, wait a second, DZ. Has iniBuilds ever released a groundbreaking, crazy, awesome airplane that everybody would use and would, you know, qualify as the best airplane in terms of fidelity level? No, never. I remember they had the A310, which was released with one of the sim updates on Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. I've flown it. It felt really light. So I was like, I've never flown the A310. I don't know how it feels, possibly. Then I purchased the A300, flown it, felt absolutely the same thing. Copy paste as the A310. I was like, there's something off, something wrong. Anyways, those two airplanes went into my 50 hours or less category in history. I haven't flown those airplanes more than 50 hours since I purchased them or acquired them. Then ahead of the A350, I was like, wait a second, I don't want to fall into this hype. But again, I'm a content creator, so I need to get that airplane to showcase it for you guys. But the purpose of us, Bossman and I and other content creators showcasing those airplanes, is to empower you so you can make the best decision for you as a user, right? And upon the release of the A350, exactly what I thought it would be. It was a meh type of airplane, right? Visually, very appealing. From the outside, gorgeous. The cockpit, the textures, the colors, the lights, the reflections, everything awesome. But system-wise, there was the guy from Phoenix saying that he was able to fly the airplane and follow every single fix on the autopilot without even aligning the adheres. Is that something that a real pilot, type-rated, would qualify as the highest possible airplane in terms of fidelity on Microsoft Flight Simulator? Let's cut the crap, guys. Honestly, come on. Come on, we know iniBuilds wants to be popular, but be popular the right way. Tell us what's going on. You know, I would have really, you know what? I would have been happy to pay $106, $120 Canadian if they postponed the release of their airplane by 3 months, 6 months, I don't care. As long as when they release the airplane, it's a tangible product, a valuable airplane, rather than just rushing, getting the cash in and then frustrating half of your community, because that's what's going on here. A lot of people are posting on forums, on Reddit, on Facebook about how much they hate the A350. It's becoming a controversy right now.
That's the thing. It's and there's this trend of releasing stuff that is not completed too, man. It's not the only I'm not talking just for the iniBuilds, because iniBuilds the next day they fix 80 something 80 fixes release for the patch the next day. So let's say that, come on, man, you release a plane that you still have to fix 80 stuff from it.
Yeah.
But when you look at the other company that made, I don't remember which one, I think the E-Jets and all the planes that is not fully completed, they just release something that is not, I don't know, it looks like it's a trend as well in the business.
It's a trend
that releasing something that is not 100% completed and then make people pay the full price and then calm down people with patches.
Yeah,
right. That's I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay, man. It's like you give me food but don't put any salt or pepper into it, make it just taste bitter, and then he's complaining, okay, add the salt now, and you know, it's same thing, right? It's why right? So it's
I mean, I hope that we are vocalizing the fact that the community, we're not stupid, man. Even some of us have a real life flying experience, some of us don't. Some of us have like reference on level D simulators, like Bossman does, and some don't have any reference. They've just been flying airplanes on the simulator for many years, enough to know what a certain airplane should feel like. You know, like for example, there are some airplanes that I've never flown in real life. I've only flown the CRJ, the 737, the 787 in real life, but the Airbus, I've never felt it. But when the flight factor on X-Plane was released, the A320, that thing flies like a brick, man. It's absolutely the heaviest thing ever. It flies like a God forbid, a 777, man, but it's just an A320, right? then you fly the Phoenix for the third time, the A320. that thing, I'm confident enough with my experience to say that it potentially is at least 75, 80, 90% maybe close to the real thing, because it feels right. You know, on your inputs, with your throttle, with the behavior of the airplane, how it behaves to the wind, to the weather, to turbulences and whatnot, you have a feel with your experience as a flight simmer. You don't have to be a pilot, by the way, but just that experience helps you to know if it feels right or not, right? I've flown the TOLIS on X-Plane. I've flown the FS Labs on P3D as well, and FSX back in the days. You know if it feels right or not. The A350, you don't have to be a pilot to know that when you rotate, it feels like even a Cessna. Even saying it feels like a Cessna is a shame for Cessna, because Cessna feels great when you rotate. It feels all right for its weight, for its caliber. It's all right. But the A350 is just, who the hell coded that? Who the hell worked on that airplane? Like, honestly, like, what is the 75 pounds worth? Right? It's like you get airplanes that are much cheaper, and I want to do the comparison with Phoenix because it's worth to be done. We know what happened between Phoenix and iniBuilds. We're not going to reiterate what happened, but if you compare Phoenix, the A320, the A321, the A319, I don't know if you've flown them, Bossman, or not. You compare them.
Which one?
From the A319 all the way to the A321.
Yeah, I flew them for 2 years because that was the only option we had.
By the way, even if you compare Phoenix to Phoenix, the A319 does not behave the same way as the A320 does. The A320 does not behave the same way as the A321 does. And add on top of that, the engine variants, the IAE versus the CFM, they don't behave the same way as each other's. And the Sharklets model also don't behave the same way. So you have like different flight models with a different, different airplanes, right? So you see that Phoenix is putting in the work. They're asking you for money for their product. Sure, here's my money, but give me something that is worth the price, right? Don't overcharge me 75 pounds for like an airplane that looks pretty on the outside, but basically a pig with lipstick. That's what I like to call it, a pig with lipstick on. And then you throw your product to like all the popular streamers, you give them some money, I don't know, $1,000, $2,000, and you say, hey, say good things. And then you watch them when they do a live stream. You got all the iniBuilds team watching, like, if you don't say anything good, we'll remove you, Like, come on, man. Like, is this really what we want in our community, in this beautiful thing that we've created, which is flight sim community, right? I mean, I feel like this type of behavior from developers is gonna scare people away from spending money. And then when people don't want to spend money, and that is a very unfortunate thing, I've seen it happen. I've seen it with a lot of people. A lot of people have spoke to me about this. But when people don't want to pay the money for a product because they don't believe in that product, what do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna steal the product. So do you want to be one of those people as a developer, or do you want to give value to your product to the point that people will want to really support you with any bit of money that they have, so that you grow even further, right? So that's one of the things that we wanted to share. I don't know. I lost words. Go ahead, Bossman.
No, it's I understand your point here.
Yeah.
I mean, all of the things around when you watch it, it's sad too, right? It's sad when what you hear about it and such, but there's not much we can do. I mean, we can talk about it, but what can we do more? And I don't know, but yeah, if we go back to the A350, itself, I mean, the thing is, we just talk about how the plane feels. They released a patch, I think 2 days ago, and it fixed it. It's because we had that issue where it swivel left and right for no reason as well. Like, why would you? And it feels like a boat.
Yeah.
It did feel like a boat in the air. Why would you swivel left and right? You are a modern airplane. In real life, you are the best. A350 is the best plane. Is the best.
Yeah.
And I would say that the competitor against the A350 in real life is the 787. With Airbus, A350 is the best. 787 is the best. And we expect you to just fly like a freaking... You just fly for us. We don't have to do much.
There you go.
But when I flew that plane, I had to fight, man. My brain was like, oh, hey, something is wrong here, right?
You know what's the funny thing? When you mentioned your brain, I don't know if you guys had the brain glitch or not with the A350, but you know how when you use your middle mouse button here to when you scroll up and down on the buttons on your overhead, right, to get the nav lights, the beacon lights, the strobe lights on and off. What kind of logic was implemented into that? Because you scroll up and then the button goes down, and you scroll down, then the button goes up. Then you go to the iniBuilds A330 and then you scroll up and wow, it goes up. It's no longer reversed. You're like, are they trying to tease us with this, or like, was that actually, like, I don't know, was there any beta testing going on? And I know that there was a pre-release that some content creator had the chance to use. Did they actually use that? Did they actually, like, it wasn't a very difficult thing to notice. Like, the first thing when I tried to fly that airplane was obviously get the airplane started. Then you have to turn the beacon lights on. If you know minimally about aviation, you turn the beacon lights on. And then that's when you notice, you're like, wait, that's weird. You have to click down, and then when you have to change your radio frequencies, you have to go down so that the frequency goes up, and vice versa. You go up for the frequency to go down. Like, yeah, that's a silly thing.
I would say the first plane that gave me that headache was the MD-11. They implemented. I don't know what's the logic between doing a reverse scroll and stuff to make that happening.
Yeah,
and that's good enough to fuck your brain right away, man. Because the thing is, here's the thing: you fly this plane alone, and you start to build like a flow, like in real life, but with your mouse. And your muscle memory is just gonna go left, bam, autopilot, bam, clink, clack, clink, scroll down, scroll up for this. Yeah. The moment your scroll goes to the other way, opposite way, you'll be like,
immersion broken.
Right? Immersion broken. You start to be locked, and you start to re-question everything. So I think that's impact the quality of life, and I think developers should put an option how to give an option to the people that likes that kind of things, and the people that just stay regular, that follow. Scroll down, meaning you put that switch down. Scroll up, meaning they put the screen up. And FS Labs did that.
There you go.
Have that option. You have that option to use the traditional way, or you want to use the FS Labs way, which is also the inverted, and that's good. Right, so every developer should put that as a principle with the product.
Yeah, it's a matter of consistency, because even if you compare iniBuilds to iniBuilds themselves, if you look at the A320neo, the A321neo, the A330, they all have the non-reverse logic. So you scroll up, it goes up. You scroll down, it goes down. But then the A350 suddenly, oh, it's a payware. It needs to be different. So we need to flip it, right? You know, and that is an introduction to the next point, where I'm gonna ask Bossman to compare the latest payware product from iniBuilds, the A350, which is 75 pounds, 75 pounds, to the A330, for example, because it's an airplane of, let's say, the same caliber. It's a heavy, right? It's a heavy airplane. How do you feel? Okay, first of all, what do you feel is different enough on the A350 that you would need to pay extra money for, that you wouldn't pay otherwise on the A330? We know that the A330 came already with Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. In fact, it's supposed to be the flagship of Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. I think they showed that airplane in pretty much all of their videos, all of their showcase trailer, teaser videos. The A330, even they landed it in, I think in Antarctica or something. You see it landing, right? So what do you think is the added value that we're getting for 75 pounds that we are not necessarily getting with the A330?
It's you know, the thing is, when you watch the A350, the system they developed, you know, the KCCU, everything, from a basic user like myself, because I'm not an Airbus pilot, I don't know all the functionality. If a failures happen, I'll be just like, all right, let's bossman this. Right?
You'd be like, where's Yevgeny? Where's Yevgeny? Yevgeny, help me.
Let's bossman this, right? I don't know. Like you guys, one day you took me to what is that place in Austria?
Innsbruck.
Yeah, you guys told me, okay, go to 8,000 feet, get to the mountain, and then suddenly Yevgeny said, turn off the engines. and suddenly I was like, what? And anyway, but
Yeah.
to that point but of course after that I use logic. But the thing is, the plane, I would say it does the necessary thing for you to go from A to B, the necessary things. Now for me, I couldn't go deeper into the plane to say, oh, the plane does this in real life. There's no way for me to say that, because I didn't pay money, so I'm not type-rated. I don't know nothing about it. I just know the first layer of any Airbus. Those are the things that anyone simmer needs to know. And if this thing works, then good. But some of those first layer doesn't work the way I wanted. Some of the first layer. It's cool to have those little things, METAR stuff and copy communication. Other developer does that too, right? It's cool. Everybody does it. It's part of the things that you need to put. But when your flight director start to behave like the A330, that means that you didn't put work then in your A350. Right? You didn't put that more work to make it feel like the real one, right?
Yep.
When you click, when you use your stuff and just your system is like freaking laggy and not perform, and I'm not even use the A330 as a reference, but the A380 fly-by-wire, they have the same system, man. They use the same, both planes.
Yep.
When you touch the other one, it's instant. It's like a tablet in front of you and you touch it. Responsive, works. Of course, it's not fully developed because, hey, fly-by-wire is free. A bunch of people doing things on their own time. But you are payware. You're supposed to deliver something and get money against it.
Yep.
We work 9 to 5, man. The money we earn is not easy money, right? We have and when we trust you to put the money in to make your to believe on your product, and this is what you give it to us. It's you know what I'm saying. So the A330, I cannot really. It's hard for me to judge it. A330, but I would say it's just by the way it's designed. It doesn't work for my money, my fully money. For me, it's not a. I don't. I don't know.
You mean the A350? You're talking about the A350?
Yeah, A350, yes, the A350. Yeah. I'm from Canada, man. We got fucked.
Yeah, tariffs plus tax plus carbon tax. Yeah, apparently, you even have to pay carbon tax for any build.
Fuck.
Because you're burning the virtual environment, right?
We got fucked in Canada, man. We really get fucked enough, and we get this, right? So, to me, when I say. When you come with, but guys, you need to think you get 2 variants. Come on, man. The 2 variants even feels the same when you fly it.
Yeah.
They feel the same. Oh, you have 2 planes that comes to different similar. Okay, but what?
And initially they were going to release it at 75 pounds just on 2024. The 2020 thing, they just added it last minute because they realized that 2024 was not reliable, stable enough for their people to go ahead and start throwing in the money. You know what I mean? So think about it.
Yeah. I'm just speaking the truth here. I'm not sugarcoating anything. It's I'm not saying that I don't like the plane either. The plane is just the product itself. How it was hyped to a level. The marketing was perfect. Cinematics, bam. Big streamer. I'm a real life pilot. You better believe me, cause you're a piece of shit in simulator. Come on, man.
Yeah, no.
No, man. Hey, even if a real pilot, hey, this is simulator. Welcome to our world. This is our world, not yours. Yeah, you have that in your real world, but this is simulator. That's everybody now. That's everybody, right? You can be a type-rated 737 pilot. It doesn't mean that you know a 747 feels or anything. You know what's different in the simulation world? What? It's if you suck at landing, we'll see it. And that's why you're bossman. I'll track it down, right? Yeah. Because I've seen real pilot doing some questionable stuff, right? Dizzy Aviation. I saw the negative 11,000 this morning, right? No, it's 19,000. Yeah, negative 19,000 FPM. You better. Where's the crater? There's a crater in Miami, by the way. If you see a crater at which runway was that? If you see a crater on the runway, that was the A350 from Bossman or Iberia, man. Yeah, but yeah, that's I would say that's my word about it. It's a fantastic plane. I just feel like this is me. They didn't put the word that plane deserved.
No.
They didn't put the word, and then everybody just, I don't know, defending it like it was like the holy grail, the la creme de la creme. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
It's marketing strategy.
That's weird.
Very good at marketing.
That is tough, man. When a plane looks, that is thing. It's just like I just feel like graphically, just visually, it's very appealing that you don't want to. You don't want to say bad thing about it. You want to just like make it feel like, no, but he's cute. You know, he doesn't.
Well, I got another example for you for an airplane that looks really good, but does not perform as well in terms of systems. The Bravo Airspace 787. That airplane, man, I know they took it from the original Dash 10, the 787-10 from Asobo, and they worked on it, but you can clearly see that they actually put in some work. Obviously, visually, we're talking visually, it has a cabin. They even went into putting some Easter eggs, details on the galleys and the carts and stuff like that to make it a little bit more fun. They have their own EFB that they modeled, which we can see it's an improvement from what you get with the simulator default, right? The A350, honestly, when you feel it, and at this point I don't care about whether, you know, don't judge me as if I was a real pilot. I am, but I'm no longer. I've been retired for 10 years now, so it doesn't matter anymore at this point, and I've never flown the A350, but it looks pretty, but when you fly it, you feel like, oh, I got scammed. Because the visuals, you don't have to, you know, the visuals, you don't have to move the airplane. You just put it in your hangar, and then you take screenshots of your airplane. You look at your cabin, you look at your avionics bay, you look at your spoilers and your engine and stuff. But the moment you start moving the airplane, the moment the airplane starts to interact with its virtual environment, you realize, wait, when you taxi in, it responds correctly. But then the moment you rotate, it's kind of, what are we doing here? Like, is it the A350 still? Then you go up on cruise, and then you have a turn, and your airplane overshoots that turn like what are we trying to do here? Like, the airplane is, instead of doing a 45 degrees turn, for example, it's gonna do a 20 degrees turn. It's gonna overshoot the point that you're supposed to go to, and then it's gonna try to go back and catch that, and then you see circles on your flight plan, and you're like, why is the airplane trying to go in circles? Oh well, it's trying to meet with a weight point, right? And then when you look at your, you know, like your history, like your position history on Volanta, for example, you see that the flight plan says it's a turn like this, but you go and zigzag all over the place. I've seen those when I did my flight to Seoul, and I was like, it's upsetting to see that kind of behavior for something that is at £75, £75. Like, I haven't seen those with the A330. It's not as pronounced as with the A350, but again, the A330, it's a different market. That is a cooperation with Microsoft. It's a flagship. I don't know if Asobo paid for that airplane for us to get it for free, or if Microsoft did, or if it was meant to be that way. But come on, guys. I feel like there's some cheating here where Asobo is gaining popularity because they're teaming up with Microsoft, and then when they release something which is completely theirs, 100%, completely non-affiliated, they release something that is overpriced but under-delivered on their promises. You know what I mean? So, and again, I do want to point out, because I have a feeling, I know iniBuilds, at least one of them, is gonna get this video, and they're gonna start sharing the video amongst each others, and we may actually end up getting comments from them. I want to put this clear. There is no, like, neither Bossman nor myself, we're not doing any personal attacks against iniBuilds. We have nothing against iniBuilds personally as human beings. They're human beings just like we are. They're doing their job at developing. But the only thing that is not pleasant here, as far as the iniBuilds experience, is what they're doing and the way they're doing it. iniBuilds wants to be a tier 1 premium developer. Well, you know what? We are holding them responsible so that they can deliver a tier 1 premium product. Right now, iniBuilds, I know it's gonna hurt you, iniBuilds, but I'm gonna be very honest. This is my opinion, and I will be honest with you guys, with any other developer, okay? If you compare your products to Phoenix, I'm sorry, I have to say, with my experience as far as the Phoenix products, I would go with Phoenix. I would have no problems paying any price Phoenix puts just to get their products, because they have a good reference. And what they do is, it's good both in the visual aspect, but also the behavior and the systems aspect. iniBuilds, so far you guys are good visually. Your sceneries they're great. Your airplanes visually are great. Performance-wise, the A300, the A310, performance-wise they were tough. Your sceneries, performance hogs. And you're going into the A350 league now. I can tell you, the airplane is smooth, it's great, but the behavior, the systems, sorry guys, you just I feel like I wasted my money, to be honest with you. And I want to be very, very honest, make sure that you guys take it from a good point of view, not from a bad point of view. I'm hoping that you guys fix this airplane as soon as possible, because all those showcases, all those, you know, trailers or teasers pre-release with all the streamers, and you went for the highest scoring streamers, that is just fluff. That was just to cash in my opinion. Right now it's just to cash in, and I'm afraid that you will not further develop this airplane or fix it the way that the community is going to be asking, because the community right now is going to be asking for a lot of things to be fixed. Just like we asked for the dome lights to be fixed on the A330 on Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. The last update I checked and I was like, okay, there's a huge list of updates. Let's take a look at the dome light. And it doesn't work still. I know it's not a big deal, but if you want to be treated like a premium developer, you gotta behave that way. Otherwise, people will realize that's one of your releases. There'll be another one. People will be like, I'm not going to be so keen at taking their airplanes, and then slowly but surely you're going to die down. There was a company just like you guys, I'm not going to name them, but they were operating on X-Plane products, and they had exactly the same scenario. They wanted to be held into very high standards, but they under-delivered, and then slowly but surely now they no longer exist. So that's my constructive feedback to iniBuilds. I don't know if chat has anything to say about this. I don't know what Bossman would say to iniBuilds.
I mean, for my per se, I'm just talking as a consumer.
There you go.
That get a product, not as a content creator or a pilot or anything. Of course, I have my references.
Well, even if you're a content creator, let's put this simple, okay? Even if you're a content creator, the fact that you have paid full price to get this airplane makes you a consumer. And then as a content creator, you can give your feedback to the community, to the people that follow you. Yeah. But you're still a content creator and you're still a user, right? You're no longer a user when they offer you money and you accept that money. If you accept that money, it means you put your values, your convictions aside, and you're going to fall in line with what they require from you, right? Because they're giving you money, so they're buying your opinion, basically, right? There you go. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, me just from all what I was saying is just from the reference that I had and as a consumer. That's it. Even if I take away the fact that we're in Canada, we're paying more, whatever is it, it's just, it was not worth it. It was not worth it. It was not worth it. You can tell me anything that because of two variants. No, if we make the calculation of other planes with variants and everything, it doesn't weight the same. It doesn't weight the same at all, and you must be very blind or just very influenced if you think that all of the things of this plane is just, this is the holy grail of everything. If this plane is the, if you do a mark and you put in a top one, then something's wrong. That's my opinion from my perspective. Yeah. So there we go.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, we still need planes. We need planes. Unfortunately, this has to continue. We need planes. But my hope, if there is something, if they watch us, like you said, if anybody watches, they'll say, get the feedback from the community. You have real pilots. You have consumer. You have people that use just use feedback.
There you go. They need to be open for feedback. Yeah.
That's the only way for you to take that to that holy grail level that we want.
Yeah,
That's
and
that's the only path. That's the only way. There's no other path. There's only thing. If you want this thing to be the best of anything that you think, you have it start with feedback. That's it. Period.
there you go. And to content creators just like us, I think that honesty is really the key. I know that a lot of people have way more experience than us, and some people are after the money. They don't really care about the opinion and whatnot. But you're serving the population of people that are just, you know, flying the simulator and watching you guys, watching us, right? It's, I think, I don't know, my standards personally as a content creator and as a person is, you know, give us your real feedback. People that follow you, they follow you for who you are, not for what people ask you to be. You know what I mean? And I have a couple of, you know, I have my five, six content creators that I always watch. I always want to see their feedback. I want to hear their feedback. I'm just gonna mention one of them, and I'm gonna give it a big shout out. Q8 Pilot. That guy is gold. That's my golden guy to go. Q8 Pilot, my friend. It's just impeccable. Always has been, will always be. I have no doubt about it. And you can tell that the guy is always gonna give his uncut, raw perception, opinion, feedback of anything he reviews. I remember a long time ago, he had a review of the SSG 747 on X-Plane, and you know, someone like me back then would be like, wow, he destroyed the company, he gave them such a bad rating. But you know what, it served me well, because I never purchased that product, and I knew why. Because he tried it live, and he told me, as a viewer, all the reasons why I should not buy that airplane, and all the reasons why I should keep watching this developer, because potentially they may make it better. And it also serves the developer well, because the developer is put on the spot, so they need to fix their work, otherwise they'll be cancelled, and you know, people will move away from them, right? Well, we watched his feedback on the A350 recently, and to say the least, that was perfection. There is no other content creator that would fall anywhere near what Q8 Pilot says as far as real stuff. We're talking real stuff, something that you will perceive, that anybody with 100k subscribers will perceive, that someone with 100 subscribers or 1 subscriber will perceive as well, right? At the end of the line, when you get purchased by developers, when they pay you to give a feedback and stuff like that, there's a bias, and that bias is communicated throughout the community, and people will be pissed at you if you do that, and that may hurt your reputation. I know a lot of people will not care about this, but if you're really passionate into this, you want to make sure that every single thing that you get is worth your money. Otherwise, there is profit for loss, and it's going to tarnish the reputation of the community as a whole in a few years from now, especially with the release of 2024 and all the fiasco that happened around it. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. Fred says, my opinion is the plane isn't bad, as people say it is. It's not PMDG or Phoenix level, but not like the Bravo Phoenix with rebuilt completely or V2. So they have. I didn't understand that part though. I had a ton of time to fix it. Also, engine versions took at least a year, as well as winglets. I think it's pretty good. Oh, you're talking about the Phoenix here? Yeah. I got you, Fred. I got you.
No, I think what Fred was saying is the plane. Like I said, the plane is not. It's not a bad plane.
It's not a bad airplane, no.
Hey, you want to see what's a bad plane? A330 Aerosoft.
Oh, that's a bad airplane. That's a bad airplane. No,
plane.
iniBuilds is not that level. Yeah, they're not that level.
That's a bad plane. The iniBuild one is just, it's frustrating. It's because they build the hype, but the project is not equal to that hype.
There you go.
I was at work watching a stream, and the stream say, hey, it's at level of PMDG and Phoenix. And I'm like, God damn, we're gonna have a freaking A350 here.
Yeah.
And then your first impression when you arrive home, you spend your money and flies and rotate.
What happened here? You're like, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I just flew the A380 just days ago playing with the KCCU, and I'm like, why is this one so laggy? And bam, crashed to desktop. I didn't have any experience of the 2024 when I got it. I was stuck with the 2020 version.
Yeah.
I was stuck with the 2020 version. I didn't have cabin, but the cabin, like I said, I don't care about it.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. but it's just my experience with the plane itself was not where it was. I didn't have that white gloves
Service.
customer service that I
Yeah.
needed, right?
Yeah.
I just had a product because, hey, you like just you bought it, then it is what it is. Now after that, I'm like, oh, it's a product. Maybe I can refund it because I'm not ready for this yet. Well, there's no refund. You don't have to. We cannot refund it. It's done. It's done, right?
Yeah.
So it's all the experience that you have around. It's not just because one button doesn't work. It's all of it, all the experience. All of that experience doesn't certify it to be the best.
Yep.
Doesn't certify it to be the best, but also with the experience we had, I don't certify it to be the worst as well or the bad. It's just, it's like this, right? It's fixable. They can fix it. They can
could.
fix it. But
I
in
don't
order
know.
to fix it, they have work. There's work behind, right?
Yeah,
And
I don't
like
have
said,
any.
They start with feedbacks.
Yeah, I have no experience as far as how things happen in the background when you develop an airplane or whatnot. But yeah, they definitely. I would say maybe. I don't know what. I'm gonna be nice here, but in a year's time frame, I want to see iniBuilds do a lot of changes to this airplane. By the way, we're reaching that segment, Bossman. If you were to talk to iniBuilds in 6 months from now, what do you want them to improve? All of the things, everything. What do you want to see is added to that airplane, and how is iniBuilds going to be able to completely reverse your opinion on the release of the A350?
There's so much to say, but if I have to do it like quick, I mean, say you have competitor. You're not the only one in the market, and you have competitor that does the job really well. And you playing in a game where there are big names over there. They just don't hype it as big as you guys did, but they're doing a freaking amazing job, and I can name them, right? PMDG, Phoenix, FS Labs, you name it, right? Those guys. PMDG, for me, PMDG performance, right? They are the king. Learn from them. Look what makes them work. Even the huge 777 still feel like the 737 performance wise. I don't have any issue. I can fly anywhere. FPS wise is just best.
Yeah.
Right. System as well. FS Labs, Phoenix,
iFly.
iFly. I forgot those guys too.
Oh yeah, iFly is.
When they did their alpha release, look how it was amazing. Everybody was happy, and when they I got the plane. That plane was amazing.
Perfect. Yeah. No comments.
Amazing. The way it feels, the way it taxis. Yes, there were some bugs at the beginning, but it was not a bug to the point like what the fuck. It was not like that. It was just like, oh, it's okay. We can live with it because we know they're gonna fix it. And guess what? They fixed it. They fixed it the way we want.
Yep.
They fixed it the way they want. FS Labs, when I had it the first time, oh yeah, I went nuts. I went nuts on my stream though. I was sweating. As a consumer, I was like, ah! It was my first FS Lab product ever. Everybody was saying it's the best one that everybody swear real Airbus pilot goes on to this when they do type. It was that things that people was telling to me, and I was like, okay. And I was like, what am I having this? And I've been flying the Phoenix for 2 years, and that plane made me feel like I don't know to fly the A321. It made to that point, and I was even depressed. And they released patch 2 and patch 3, and patch 3 I was like, what? Is it the same plane? It was just like FPS. They fixed the FPS because the FPS was bad. The system that randomly fails and all of the bugs that we had, the ILS didn't work properly, all of the swing, the VDEV LM was fighting all of the swing. They fixed all of that. I know that plane just flies like, mwah. I'm not even fly. The thing is, I fall in love with that plane, the process. And that's the thing, I expect something like that with iniBuilds, with their planes, the A350. Right now, I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy. I'm not fully into it. I'm not like, I can, in the next week, I can stop flying it. It won't do anything to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, if like I say, if they get the feedback and do the job and everything, and yeah, they can. I'm someone who I'm always willing to say, okay, I can try it and tell you, oh, it looks like it, and That what happened with FS Labs. Bam. Just the experience, man. The experience that you have, that you deliver.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. For my part, what I would say here is within 6 months, I'm going to be very specific. I want to see the boogie, the 3 steps boogie. It needs to be implemented. Otherwise, and like I said, it's not worth $75. And it's rapidly going to die down because the hype brought the airplane all the way to the top. A lot of people have purchased it, right? Maybe what, 20,000, 30,000 people purchased it because of hype and all of the marketing and the sales and whatnot. It goes up, then people try it, it goes down 1 notch, right? Then there's the first update doesn't do much, it goes down again, and then in a couple of months, maybe 2 months, 3 months, if things remain the same, people will catch up to this, and then it's just gonna die down. So what I want for sure to create the wow factor is really the 3-step boogie. I want to make sure that the flight director is behaving properly. Bossman has actually showed me how to reproduce an issue where, like, you're on final, you're established on the localizer on your glide slope, dead with it, and then you do like a brutal pitch to the top. That flight director, the plus sign, is supposed to remain beneath your airplane when you do like an abrupt pitch up movement, right? But it follows you, so you're like, what is the flight director trying to do here, right? Like, if you go up, you're not going to be meeting with your thresholds. You're not going to be flying the airplane properly into the runway. That is something that needs to be fixed. The KCCU, in my opinion, I feel like I have to click 3, 4, 5, 6 times before it responds. I hate that. Honestly, I hate that. The swaying of the airplane, sometimes it sways randomly, like when you're landing. And even when you fly in during cruise, you see one aileron is completely open, and your airplane is banking at like 20 degrees, and your airplane is still flying straight. You're like, why? Where is that coming from? Is it 2024? Is it iniBuilds? I mean, they're gonna have to figure their stuff out. I know iniBuilds is working with with Microsoft, so they're gonna have to figure stuff out, because you know, you keep releasing, you hurt the community by releasing stuff like this. Of course, we have the freeware community, which may or may not be adding some mods to make the airplane great, but why am I gonna pay $75 to have to get a mod to make the airplane functional? You know what I mean? It's like the Captain Scam, right? The airplane was released, pretty beautiful, the modeling, everything great, but system-wise, bullshit, right? So there's a couple of people, I think Horizon Simulation, they released some mods, some freeware mods to make the airplane more flyable. I call them the Frankenstein airplanes. They don't have any value to me, man. Especially if you're gonna put a big price tag on that product, you're gonna hold yourself responsible for the price tag that you put, right?
Yeah.
That's how it is.
But that also, you know, that also explain, you know, if we've seen on Flight Simulator that people was doing modes for the flight model dynamic. That means that something is wrong with the product itself. Why would you do that? You should. I will be pissed, man, if I make a product that I will sell in the market and someone makes something to make it better.
Yeah,
like the main thing that your product should do, and they try to add an addition into it to make it better, right? I would be pissed. I wouldn't be happy about that, right?
Yeah.
So and like you said, those things that you said also, it's valuable to me. The boogie, the engine, right? The engine's animation, the blades, all of those stuff. It's hey, this is little detail, but the whipper when this rains.
Well, the wiper, yeah.
Those are little things, but to me, and like I said, the systems, the flight director, I don't need too much thing in depth because I don't know nothing about it, but yeah, sometimes I can play with it, but yeah, those are the things I'm saying.
Yeah, there you go. And then also, you spoke about the wipers. It reminded me of the wind. No, sorry, not the wind, but the rain. You know, when the rain, if you go to your simulator and use the A350 and then you change your weather to like rain and you make it like 100% precipitation, you will have rain on your windshield. You'll have rain on your, you know, cockpit windows, left and right. That's fine. But if you go to the cabin and if you move your view like behind the window, the cabin, like the cabin window, there is no rain interaction with the window. which is silly because even Airsoft A330 has it. So, I mean, if you're gonna have a wing view, you might as well have those effects on the wing view, right? Otherwise, what's the point? Just take it off and that's it. I hate to incorporate the window on my wing view if that effect doesn't exist, right? I would just might as well just move the view outside, look at the wing, and that's it. That's all, right? But again, each user is gonna have their own requirements to make of an airplane something realistic. I believe this would be a standard. In 3 months, hopefully, we can see that, as well as the airplane behavior, the turns, the stop overshooting and stuff like that. Fine tunings here and there that I hope will make the airplane a little bit better. So yeah, so that's my opinion. I also wanted to really
hold on before you jump. What's your thought about the sound of the plane?
I love the flap sound. The flap sound are the best thing ever on that airplane. The flap sound you can hear from the cabin, you can hear, like when you go to the wing view and you hear the flap sound, that's mwah. Engine start, I'm not really that impressed by the engine sound, engine start sound, especially the start sound, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I would say that upon takeoff they sound good. When you go like flex or toga, they sound great, but there are some moments where you feel like some of the sounds, I can't tell exactly which sound, but you feel like there are some sounds that are in a loop. Like it's the same sound coming back as a loop, right? Like for example, the windshield, the air hitting your airframe, right? You feel like it's the same sound coming back in a loop, right? There's also when you taxi in on the ground, I don't know if you noticed it or not, but you have the same sound coming back again, as if like, you know, it sounds like as if you're hitting a rock on the ground or something, but that sound comes back again often. It's not like, and I disabled FS Realistic, so I don't get biased by anything that comes from FS Realistic. I did it like completely raw, just the A350. There are some sounds that I don't really like, but you know, the flap sound, the cabin announcements, those guys are really like top notch. I love how they did like multilingual announcements, respecting each airline. The APU sounds good as well, and yeah, I think that's it. The landing gear upon release, man. When you when you're like on final, welcome back, Marcus Aviation. When you're like on final, man, and then you go landing gear down, man, and you hear like an explosion, as if you're like in World War II and somebody's shooting you.
Yeah, even at takeoff, whoa, did we lost a tire or something?
It's like, what happened, man? Yeah. Yeah.
It felt like no. The thing is, the sound is good overall. The sound is, hey, man, gonna hate me, but Boris still top one, man, when he makes sound.
Oh yeah, Boris, yeah, for sure.
Boris knows how to capture it and make it fade in, feels like it's integrated.
Yeah.
The sound is good overall. The flap sound, I've been at A50. They exaggerated. They put the volume really high, and people got hyped about the volume because you hear it really loud, but it's not that loud, man. I've been sitting next to a wing of A350. It's not that loud. It's a nice sound that comes, and like the 777, like any plane with flaps, but he has just his own. The A350 has identity, and and I can hear it. It's there, but it's just like over exaggerated. But the sound in the cockpit, man, the little things, the details around, I feel like it has been added instead of being integrated. Like the wheel when you lift off and I'm like, what the heck? Did we press something on my I did
soundboard
and you just click and add it to be like timing wise, right? It feels that way. They did, and they adjusted, and now in 2024 it sounds better. In 2020 it sounds, I don't know, they still need to adjust it a little bit, I would say. But the sound overall, all the capture, the thing is there, right? The how do you call when you accelerate and you hear the nose wheel doing
the roll?
It's bumping. Yeah, the roll.
Yeah.
That one I liked it. That
one. Okay, yeah, that one is great, but I'm biased because I've before the release of Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 and 2024 and whatnot, I purchased the Flight Factor A350, which is not the best airplane out there, but if you compare it to the iniBuilds A350, it's a little further ahead in some aspects, a little further behind in some other aspects. Visually, obviously, we all know that X-Plane is not the most appealing simulator as far as visuals. You know, all the modeling and stuff is okay. It's, if you compare it to X-Plane 11, all right, it's okay. But the sounds, man, the sounds on the Flight Factor A350, and not the original sounds, the ones that came from FT Sim Plus, those guys make a true difference. And you see, like, it enhances your experience just by hearing every single bit of the sounds. Now, X-Plane uses something called Fmod, which unfortunately doesn't exist on Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. But maybe in 3 months from now, 3 to 6 months from now, I would like to see either iniBuilds topping up the whole sounds and the whole, like, the 3D sounds of the airplane, the way that the airplane behaves with the weather, with the environment, the roll sounds, and enhance them a little bit, make them a little bit better, a little clearer, right? Or if iniBuilds is not going to be doing that, I want to see some third-party developers such as Boris making some top-notch sounds that will interact, just like Bossman said, with the whole thing, like interactive sounds that get triggered, but then you know that they belong to the airplane. They're not just coming with a different pitch, with a different volume out of nowhere, like the landing gear did, or something like that, right?
Yeah. And yeah, I was mentioning Boris because Boris made me want to fly more the PMDG than the Max, man. It gives you all different experience. You feel the power of the plane, the how it feels. It feels more beefy, and it feels good. It feels like am I in the plane? Like when you use like pretty nice headsets like those. I have these ones. Right now I have those. I have the Sennheiser. Which one is it? Is it the 560? Yeah, something like that. You hear those little details like perfectly, right? And yeah, and one thing that gives me a little effect as well is the vortex effect on the engines. It looks more like a smoke than a vortex effect. Have you noticed that? That would be great if they can update it, but I could see Parallel coming up to fix that.
Probably. I would love to see Parallel coming up for the A321.
God damn. The vortex, how they modelize it compared to the real life. It's one-to-one.
Yeah, it's real life. It's basically real life, yeah. It's one-to-one.
Yeah. It's real life, right? It's interacting with the winds and everything. But when you watch the vortex on the one that comes with the A350, it's just a smoke that it's looping.
Yeah.
Just a smoke looping.
Yeah, it's a basic effect. It's not. You can tell that iniBuilds is not really used to do that type of effects, and we don't have those vortex on the A330 or the A321neo or the A320 for that matter. But anyways, wrapping up, guys. Wrapping up this whole discussion about the A350 and Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. Do we have any comments, Bossman? Anything you want to add, just as a wrap up with the A350? And 2024 as a whole?
No, I've been flying this plane since release.
Yeah.
Doing long flight. I did a long flight with Fred, who was in the chat.
Fred is here, yeah.
I did long flight with yourself, with Evan. I did long flight on my streams.
Yeah.
And I think I felt better enough to say that, yeah, it's the product works. It works, and I hope the company will take feedbacks to make it better, because it's a goddamn beautiful plane.
It has potential.
Plane.
I mean, it's not just
a beautiful plane.
Beauty aside, it's an airplane that has a good potential. I want to see that airplane fly as good as the Phoenix or the PMDG or the FS Labs, because otherwise it would be a waste of resources. It looks so pretty, and then it feels like a piece of paper. It's kind of weird, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And for Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, I really want to make sure that I would rather than rushing on their updates one upon the other, right? I want to see two things, right? Since this is a cloud-based environment, I'm hoping really to give people the chance to not automatically be updated to the latest version if they want to use the simulator. just like Explain does, right? If there's a new version, you get a pop-up. It says, would you like to update to the latest version? Yes, no. You go no, continue, and nothing has changed for your simulator, right? Whereas right now, you're forced to update to the latest version, and then if the latest version causes more hassle than relieve, then you're stuck, just like Bossman is right now. I know that he wants to fly on 2024. I know that he wants to use the A350 on 2024. He wants to experiment the smoothness and all the, the little finicky details that 2024 has to offer. It's beautiful. We have to, recognize that 2024 is beautiful. The autogen, the 3D trees, the way the water looks, it's really beautiful, right? Well, the horizon and like the atmosphere is, still needs some, still needs some work to make it 100% perfect, right? But there's a lot of enhancement from Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 as a whole. Like when you look at it globally, right? So I would really like if Asobo and Microsoft really focus on the quality of their content rather than the quantity, because right now they're just going update over update over update over update every 2 weeks or every every 10 days they have a new update and new beta. But I would rather just focus on everything, try to fix as much stuff as possible. They probably don't have the resources to fix everything right away, but when you fix something, try to beta test it before you release it. Because if you release it without beta testing it, then I become a beta tester. And if I'm a beta tester, I paid, right? I'm a paid beta tester, not a free beta tester. I'm expecting a minimum, right? But if you break my entire simulator to the point that I have 5 crash to desktops, whenever I want to click on my livery, or if I want to hit free flight, or if I want to go to like a career mode, then at this point, it's no longer a viable product, right? So I'm hoping that there is some sort of acknowledgement of all these issues that are happening at the user end with Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 and how it interacts with like third-party content and just like the interaction between 2024 and iniBuilds. iniBuilds making you pay £75 and then they're asking you to be on the sim update beta 1. Like, I'm buying a release product and I have to use it on a beta product, And then now with the crusty desktop, it kind of scares me even more. But anyways, want to see that, and I hope that the future, the near future in 3 months for iniBuilds and for Microsoft 2024 is going to be positive, because that's going to be 7, 8, 9 months away from the release, which was last year now, right? 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'm not sure. Do you have anything to add, Bossman?
No. Hopefully we're gonna see a better outcome in the coming month.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully.
Thank God 2020 is still pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
That we can rely on this one.
Yeah.
And let's see 6 months from now what it's gonna be.
Sounds good. Would you have some questions from the community? I know there's not a lot of people today, probably because of the time at which we're streaming, but you're more than welcome to ask your questions in chat. We'll pick them as well. I do have some questions that some people have DM'd me directly on the Discord. You have them, Bossman, as well? The questions towards the end, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one is, what are your thoughts on the aircraft management system in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 compared to previous versions? Has it improved in terms of navigation, flight planning, or autopilot functionality? And then it says content creation in 2024.
Where do you see that?
It's on the whole thing, the thing that I sent you. Hold on, I will put it in chat.
Yeah.
Here's the question. There you go. And this question was sent to us by S. Someone's name's S.
Okay. Me personally, I don't use it. That tablet in 2024 and all this thing, I don't use it. I just find it complicated to use. I already have my flow. My flow is sim brief, load it, pam, pim, pam, done. That's it.
Okay.
I'm used to that. Even if we integrate something different, it's something that I've been using for years, and it's gonna be hard for me to get away from it. Even I use it for default aircraft. I don't use the tablet, so
Okay.
to me, I don't really. For me, I tried it and I just found it complex. That's it.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. I'll pick the next question. I'm just putting in chat here. We got a question. Says, what aircraft would you... No, sorry. If you had to pick one aircraft that you feel rivals the A350 in terms of depth and realism, which one will it be and why? So, obviously, at this point, we've talked about it too much, I would say. What airplane would rival the A350? I think I'm going to use the opportunity to make a call out to Phoenix. I really want to see Phoenix. I want to see FS Labs work on a potential A350. I know that Phoenix revealed that they were potentially looking into developing an A350, but then they gave priority to iniBuilds when iniBuilds announced it. Especially the power from iniBuilds is really the bilateral relationship with Microsoft and Asobo, right? So if you're any third-party developer, you see that, you'd be like, someone like iniBuilds is probably going to have exclusive access to the coding and the behind the scene of Microsoft Flight Sim and whatnot, so they have a way more comfortable way to develop their airplanes. So yeah, Phoenix, definitely Phoenix. I think that there is enough rivalry right now between Phoenix and iniBuilds, and I really wanna give my thumbs up to Phoenix and hopefully push them to do something for the A350. Even if it's 2-3 years from now, I believe in Phoenix. I know that Phoenix is gonna release something good. I mean, you don't have to guess it, right? You can't guess it. You just look at the history of what they've released. Phoenix came out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere. We were still flying the PMDG 737-700 and the CRJ from Aerosoft, and then Phoenix out of nowhere showed the A320, and we were like, wow, you know? So yeah, definitely Phoenix is into Airbus. I can only see it as a logical advancement for them to move to the A350, so that would be my pick. There you go. Next question with Bossman. What aircraft would you love to see released for Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 next? Is there any specific aircraft that you think the community is eagerly waiting for? And I'll paste it here in chat.
I mean, the platform, I don't care, 2020 or 2024.
Okay.
Can I choose two manufacturers? One from Boeing and one from Airbus?
Well, yeah, it doesn't specify how many aircraft, but yeah, just go for it. Go for everything you want.
From Airbus, I want to see a good A330 CEO and Neo. I don't know. I want to see the CEO. I don't like the Neo, man. I don't like the Neo. Okay. I want that brute force CEO that the design is from the old time of. I want, but with a system that flies like the Phoenix or the FS Labs. Yeah. That's from Airbus.
I got what you mean. Yeah.
From a Boeing perspective, 737 Classic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I'm surprised to see that you haven't mentioned the 767, the 787.
Well, I only had one options on Boeing, so I will see that. I would rather see the Classic than the 767. Of course, my second option will be the 767.
Okay.
But I would say if I have to put the 737 Classic and the 767, I will put the 7. Dude, I'm a 737 lover, man. You will see me flying the Airbus a lot. 737 comes first. It has to come first. Then the 767. The 757, it's not my things. I didn't grow up with that plane. I just know that it's the fellow around me call it the hot dog. Or the but the company back home was using the 767 200 300, and when I saw the 400 for the first time too, I was like, what is that thing? It's long.
yeah. Okay, we got a couple questions from Marcus Aviation. My TCS Roller Quadrant Airbus Edition cannot connect to 2024, so I need help. We'll take it off the stream, Marcus Aviation. If we're off the stream, feel free to send us a message, DM, whatever, and then we'll be able to help. PMDG 777 is... No, PMDG 777, it has built-in systems two like the iniBuilds A350 and they are around the same size. I guess so. I don't know. Community needs a good 787. You're right, man. You are right. I am backing you 100% on that, man. 787. I get so excited, man. When I hear the 787, I get like a...
And it's too bad.
Yeah.
It's too bad we don't have the quality wings, guys.
It's too bad. Yeah, I know.
The thing is, I use that as a reference, and when I use those Horizon and all of the other craft, it's just when you have your flow as well, you have the tablets and everything that push thing into the plane, does the thing exactly like the Phoenix and everyone does.
Exactly. Yes.
When you don't have that things and how the plane feels that, it's.
Yep.
No, we need someone. PMDG, please. Give this guy a 787. I know you guys, you can do it. Come on.
Yep. Moving on to the next question. What is one new feature in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 that you think most players and users have not noticed or haven't fully explored yet? That's a good one. I would say DLSS, frame generation. But again, I'm biased because I have a 4000 series. What would you say, Bossman?
I don't know. This one is hard for me to add. Because it could be a feature on anything. I would say some people, I would say one thing that some people might not know, but those streaming airport, you can deactivate it. Some people didn't know that.
The what?
When you had your, some airport, like when you had an airport in 2020, when you have an airport from 2020 and you want to use it with the backward compatibility,
yeah.
Some airport like Seattle, for example, SeaTac.
Yeah.
If you don't remove that airport, the original one, it will conflict, and you're gonna have some holes and anything.
Oh, and the bespoke airports, like the default airports that come with the Sobo, yeah.
And Asubo added recently that you can deactivate the stream.
Oh,
airport.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that.
Okay.
So in 2020 you can deactivate it because it's there, but now because those airports are streamed, you can also deactivate it. No.
Okay, I see. One feature that I'm thinking of now that you mentioned in that is I realized recently, I don't know if it's a DZ Aviation problem or if it's a Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 problem. Every single time I change my settings in the simulator and I hit save changes, I restart the simulator and it resets my settings to what they were before I changed them. So I found out a way that is going to lock your simulator in those specific settings that you have selected, but you gotta do it while the simulator is running. You go to the msfs.cfg, which is located whatever the app data folders of your 2024 are, msfs.cfg, or config.cfg, msfs.cfg, and you do a right click, and you once you change the settings to what you want the simulator to be like, you set that file into read-only mode. It's going to prevent Microsoft Flight Sim or any of the cloud issues from doing like a revert back to the latest time the cloud saved your settings, right? It's been working for me. I don't know if a lot of people know of it or not, but I guess that's my 2 cents. That is my... Did you know about it, Bossman? The read-only mode? No, that's the way to lock your settings. So sometimes you may...
the file? To lock your file? Oh,
yeah. Yeah, the CFG go read-only mode, and it helps pretty well. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next question. We don't have that many questions left, so we're just gonna go through them. Do you think MSFS 2024 is close to offering the perfect flight sim experience, or do you think we're still a few years away from achieving that?
They're experiencing the same beginning of 2020. We gotta give them 6 months to 1 year. Okay. To start to feel a true difference.
Okay, and that question was from Rafik Pilot from Algiers. There you go. And what is your go-to aircraft when you just want a quick and relaxing flight, and why? And that would be the last question.
What would be yours?
Mine?
Yeah.
The 787?
Yeah, but you don't have that 787.
No, there's no 787 yet. No
Yeah,
787.
you don't have that 787.
Yeah, 787 is still, I don't know. I hope, I don't know. I hope iniBuilds is not going to touch the 787, so they leave the way they yield to other developers, because I don't want to see any 787 from iniBuilds. That wouldn't look good. I'm sure. We want them to work on the 350, on the 330, on the 300, on the 310 before they move to any other airplane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my go-to aircrafts when I just want to do a quick and relaxing flight, honestly, I go with a 737, because that is that's a small airplane, not a huge airplane, and usually if I want to do quick and relaxing flights, I would go for like 1-2 hours max, 2.5 hours, and that's it. So that would be my definitely my relaxing.
Yeah. You know, I don't like too much long haul flights. I just do those quick flights. As much I prefer to do a 1 hour flight going and coming back, so at least I have 2 takeoff, 2 landings.
Yeah.
As much landings as I can. Also, my go-to aircraft will be Boeing 737 PMDG, especially since Boris released that sound pack. For some reason, I like it more than the Max.
Oh yeah.
And at Airbus side is the A321 FS Labs. Those 2 aircraft is my go-to. Those 2.
Yeah. Alrighty, so that was the last question. We're gonna open. We'll be open for like questions from you guys. Also, voice chat is open, so if you guys are willing to come in on the Discord, DZ Aviation, go to economy class. One of us will pop, or both of us will pop. We'll hear your question on the stream. If you guys are interested, we'll wait for about a few minutes here to give everyone a chance. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to send us your questions in chat. I see Marcus Aviation. I see Jacob Jemerson. When do you like about 350? What do you like about the A350? Is that we'll let Bossman answer that. What do you like about the A350?
What I like about the plane?
Yeah.
Like in the sim or as the plane?
Well, I'm assuming the iniBuilds, right?
The one we're flying right now.
Yeah.
And what I like about it is, I mean, it's a new plane, so it's new. It's new. You want to try something new too.
Mm-hmm.
It's new.
Yeah.
But what I like the most about it is how the plane looks like. It's a good looking plane.
Yeah.
It's a good looking plane, and the one that reinforces it is just French B. Looks good with it, Air Carib, and those are planes that go back home. It's a plane that I flew with. It's what I take to go back home, and I want to fly those, right? It's also, there's some emotional attachment as well. Not
of
just,
course.
Yeah.
Nice. What do I like about the A350? The sounds, man. The iniBuilds, the sounds of the flaps. That's, I like that. I like that sound. It's a pretty cool sound. Marcus Aviation says, no bro, MSFS 2024 is too glitchy. After a few years of fixes and updates, it may have a chance. Yep, you're right, man. I prefer the A330 for a short haul flight. I went on one of those for a 1 hour 30 minutes flight. Great. That's pretty good. Anyways, I don't see that many voice chats coming up. I don't see more questions. If that was it, guys, it's time to wrap up. Anything to add, Bossman, on your end?
And Mr. DZ Aviation is gonna give away one A350 right now.
What? No way. No.
I'm kidding.
I wish I had your soundboard, man. The only thing that I have on the soundboard is this. There you go. Well, on this note, thank you very much for all the people coming to watch us and come to interact with us. I really appreciate that. Thanks for all the people that have liked the video. 20 likes. Wow. Even on my live stream, I haven't gotten 20 likes. I think it's the bossman effect, right? It's the bossman effect. Yeah. I'm going to still keep this video running for some of you guys if they I mean, the video is still going to be on the video. That's what the video is still going to be on the channel. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry. If anybody's interested to see what we have to say about the simulator and iniBuilds. Aside from that, we'll be back for another one. We'll see the feedback on this video, and we'll see how people like to see our faces here and goof around. You know what? I was not really impressed with the goofiness of Bossman. Today's tired, right? I have COVID. I have my reasons, right? I'm not goofy enough because I'm tired.
What?
But
I was not goofy enough. No, I only had like 5 hours sleep, and then we lost the sleep, and
yeah,
I just came from a long haul flight, and I mean I'm saying goofy. What you mean, man? What do you mean? What is that question? I'm goofy. I'm goofy.
Dude, the title of the video means Bossman Unleashed, right? Uncensored.
Yeah.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
No, I'm just also showing to people that I also have some seriousness a little bit.
Oh yes.
I know when I do my stream I'm really goofy. I just forget everything and I just take things. But here I will say when it's about opinions and such also I can. You see, I put some funny stuff sometimes, but sometimes when you have to take it seriously, you take it seriously as well, right? So.
Yeah, there you go. He's goofy when it comes to judging my landings for sure. Negative 298, right? Paris Charles de Gaulle. And he's like,
yo, man, you Top Gun that plane. Yevgeny and I, we were watching it and we were like, oh, he's really trying to get that aim point. He's winning. But
I didn't even Top Gun it that much, but anyways, yeah, I know what you mean. I was like, stress. Bossman is stressing the shit out of me. Yeah.
I did that to Evan. I did that to Fred. I even did that to Fred this morning.
You are the stressor.
Hey, it's $20. Get it. Grab it.
It's all right. It's all right. Anyways, guys, that's a wrap. Thank you very much for all the people joining us. We play the wrap-up song here for effects. Bossman, thank you very much. I really appreciate you coming over for a quick chat. Quick goofy chat, man. Right? I know you were tired today, you did a long haul. I actually didn't even know. I slept very early yesterday because COVID, you know?
Yeah.
And then when I woke up in the middle of the night, I saw that you were streaming, so I was like, oh, he's probably gonna end his flight soon. And at 10 a.m. this morning, I was like, he's still streaming, he's crazy. Anyways, I needed 1 week to recover from my long haul, just so you guys know. It's tough on the body.
Yeah, I think it's a good excuse for me also to walk away from the A350 because long haul, it's a plane for a long haul, man. This plane can do 17, 18 hours. Crazy. I cannot do that.
Yeah.
I cannot do that. I like my little Calgary, Vancouver, Boston to
Boston Aviation. Where is he?
Boston Aviation, you owe me 737 WestJet Max. Where's mine? If you're watching.
Anyways, guys, thanks for all the mods, the sponsors. Thanks to all the people joining our channel as members. I do really appreciate all the people interacting with us on Discord. Bossman, thank you very much. Yevgeny is not here, but screw you, Yevgeny. Thank you, man. We love you, Yevgeny. Thanks to all the people that we have not mentioned but are helping us and supporting us likewise. Bossman, I give you a chance to thank your people as well. There you go. That's the Bossman way. Oh yeah, matches with a song too. Video clip.
Song? Is this?
There's a song playing.
No, hey, my motherfuckers! I see you guys in the next stream, alright? Hey, landing, practice your goddamn landing when you find me, because at the Bossman school, man, you cannot touch that white things like above 200. Okay, I did some mistake today too, but it happens.
There you go.
There you go.
Upon those beautiful words, my friends, just like we say, yeah. And both Bossman and I will say, peace. Yeah.